Well, this has been a pretty chaotic thing so far. It was pretty chaotic when we tried it last year as well, but we'll give it a go again tonight. Welcome to the closest thing that the vPub is going to get to a Christmas party. Welcome to another blind challenge live. And tonight we're going to be looking at cask-strength Christmas drams. I'll see you on the other side. Hello, whiskey folk. Hello, whiskey folk. Hello. Welcome, everybody. We're almost at the end of the year, and this is the closest thing, as I say, that we're going to get to having any kind of Christmas party on the vPub, especially when we're all hemmed in and having to stay in our own little spaces. And it looks like, certainly in the UK and Europe, it's looking threateningly like it's going to get a wee bit more acute again. Unfortunately, it's brutal, this thing, and we're really kind of struggling in lots of ways. However, we can still have this wee pocket of time. Not on a Thursday evening, it's a Tuesday tonight. We've had to pull it forward from Christmas Eve. A bit of pocket of time just for some escapism, some whiskey time, and a wee bit of community time and fun and things like that. I need to pull up the chat. I realise that I have not done that. I'm a wee bit behind. I've got a few guests waiting in the background, and getting them set up and getting the tech and everything working okay was distracting me a wee bit. But I'm good now. We're in good shape. Over 200 of you in already, just as we get started. Wonderful to welcome you all. If anybody was here long ago, last year, we did a blind challenge, a community blind challenge in springtime. It was really good fun. But about a year ago, we got together and did a blind challenge. And it was very, very typical Aquavitae blind challenge style. And that is, I send out 5 drams. Everybody is completely blind. And they just select their favourite to their least favourite. That's all they have to do. So they're brilliant at this kind of blind tasting. It's easy to decide what you like over something else, sometimes, unless the drams are very, very similar, of course. More on that in a minute. And what I do is I throw in there kind of world whiskies versus scotch, cask-strength whiskies versus kind of normal bottling strength, legendary whiskies, antique whiskies versus more contemporary whiskies, premium against budget, these kind of concepts. That's what the blind challenge is there to kind of do, is to try and work out if actually we maybe prefer certain styles of whiskey, or maybe sometimes budget whiskies can be better than more expensive ones and things like that. This blind challenge tonight strips all of that away. It really strips all of that away. It makes it virtually impossible, if we consider that it could be a blind challenge, to test the participants, because it's not at all. Usually you've got ABV to help you out a little bit with the contrast. You've got things like profile, you've got things like color, you've got cask influence, and all of these things that can help you navigate your way through a blind challenge. All of that is stripped away tonight, because we've got 5 blind samples that are all cask strength, high ABV, super rich, super spicy, super powerful, bold. For me, really quite remarkable whiskey experiences. And they're very, very similar, honestly speaking. I've had a couple of drams come in from the beautiful whiskey folk and dedicated barflies already. I need to come in and welcome some of those guys. Tom Bells is in saying, hi, Roy. Hope all the samples have arrived. More on that in a second, Tom. Unfortunately, the news is no, it didn't. Paul Taberner is saying, I'm not much of a joiner, but here I am. Good for you, Paul. It's nice to welcome you in, and please make yourself known to the other barflies. They're very welcoming folk. Ebhead is here the night before. The night before the night before the night. That's right. I was on a wee session last night, a wonderful session with a few friends, and Rob was involved in that as well. It was really good to be able to hang out and just kind of start to feel like the year's winding down a wee bit. Still a few days left to go. Norman's Whiskey's in, just did a pre-show over on Vin's channel, where Vin was going through the process of what all the other participants that are behind the scenes right now have been doing, and that's kind of nosing, tasting, and ranking the whiskies favourite to least, so that that's all done before we go live. Jimmy Legg has bought me a dram to say Merry Christmas to everyone, but only Roy gets the cash. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Thank you very much, my friend. Nice to welcome you in always, Jimmy Legg. I've got a new member as well. I've had somebody that's joined the Barflies tonight. Paul Taberner. Aye, of course, Paul. He's just joined the Barflies tonight. Paul, thank you very, very much. Thanks to you and all the other Barflies like you, and to the support I get through Patreon as well. This channel remains completely independent. Everything I get to do, yeah, it's obvious actually. I get to do exactly what I want, when I want, how I want. And it means that I can just remain completely self-reliant. Joining the Barflies here inside YouTube, what that also means as well, that the vPubs will never be monetized. You will never need to sit through advertisements on a vPub. So if you cut it up and you listen to it on replay podcast style, or if you go and listen to the back catalogue of vPubs and things like that, you don't need to sit through adverts. Thanks very much to all the Barflies who support me to make that a no-brainer. I've also had another wee dram in from Lee Hosey, Haddington Whiskey. What's Lee saying? Don't let me miss what you're saying there. Going to have to catch the replay. Good luck, guys. Lee, you're busy tonight. I know that you've been involved in the background on blind challenges before, my friend, and I hope you enjoy this one too. Thanks for your dram, my friend. Thank you very much. Jean de la Cuisine is in saying, wish you, your family, and all Barflies a Merry Christmas with a small pour of Arran Sherry Cask. Jean, tell me what you're thinking of your Arran Sherry Cask. Are you enjoying it? Tell me what you think of it and share it with the Barflies as well. Drams on a Tuesday, says Craig Dollier. Good to see you, Craig. Craig, normally you and I would get to be hanging out at least once or twice a month. I'm really missing you, buddy. I'm really missing you. I'm missing our curries and our curry nights as well. No, that's Whiskey saying thanks for having me for the pre-show. Vin, it's me that has to thank you, buddy. It really is. I offered the idea out to you last year, and of course, like the buddy you are, you just said, yeah, absolutely, that'd be great fun. And again, you did it tonight. And I know that it's difficult for you in the evenings now because you've got the wee one at home as well. You have to be super quiet. I hope things are peaceful at home as well. And thank you very much for hosting everybody tonight, my friend. Thank you very much, Vin at No Nonsense Whiskey. Kev Grant on Whiskey, and my cousin as well. What does your shirt say? My shirt says, what does it say? Original Stormtrooper. It's two Stormtroopers decorating a Christmas tree in an Instagram style. I think it's got something up at one side. I don't know how many likes it's had. Oh no, it was posted 7 hours ago. It'll tell me down the bottom how many likes. It's only had 16 likes so far. So give the video some likes, please. It always helps. It helps YouTube promote the vPub to people once people see that there's great engagement. 70, I can't ask for likes. Come on, there's 72 of you already liked it. Thank you all so very, very much. And we've not even got anything going yet. Somebody else who's also joined the Barflies tonight as well. I just want to catch who that is before they disappear. I want to catch it. Daniel Williams has also joined Aquavite Barflies. Thank you very, very much, Daniel. Thank you for your support, as well as Hoyt, my friend Hoyt from the States. Merry Christmas and Happy Hogmanay. Wish I was in Edinburgh, maybe next year. Aye, there's lots of travel arrangements being continually disrupted. And to be honest, just when we think that there's some light coming at the end of the tunnel, we understand that things might not be as quite clear-cut as we thought. However, we're not going to dwell on that tonight. This is escape time. I was asked there if all the packages had arrived, and they haven't arrived. Whiskey Central, Shyla has just bought me a dram as well, saying, Merry Christmas, Roy, and all the Barflies. So happy to have found your channel this year. And we are so happy to have found you as well, Shayla. We're so happy to have you in the community as well, creating your own content as well over on Whiskey Central. It's wonderful to have you here. Have your presence and support generally, Shayla. Good to see you. Package has just been shipped to you, and I hope it arrives with you safely. Maybe quicker than some of the other packages I sent out recently. Can I just say that if anybody's involved in the Royal Mail, any of the parcel courier services distribution, it must be brutally, brutally difficult for you now. You must be, it was already getting exponentially out of hand every year. People are doing more and more online shopping. Certainly we were as a family, and then this thing comes along and everything, virtually everything has to be online. The amount of delivery drivers and things that we have coming to the door just now, and they're all really polite and professional when they must be run ragged. I have to say, I want to raise a dram for it. Of course, you're not going to be watching this because you're either going to be working or sleeping right now, but just let all the key workers, all the frontline services, everybody that's had to go out and grind away throughout this mess of a year. And everybody that's really struggling right now, I raise a glass to you and I say thank you to everybody. Not all heroes wear camo. Thank you to you all. Cheers. Daniel Williams is saying, Merry Crimble, spend it fast while you can. Now a barfly and a Patreon member. Daniel, thank you so much for your support. I'll welcome you inside Patreon too. Donald Rance is saying, hey Roy, I think you were already a patron. Hey Roy and fellow barflies, I just wanted to stop in and say hello from work. All happy holiday season. Slancha. Donald, it's always a pleasure to have you and my friend as well. I hope things are okay for you over in Canada, and it would be really nice for you to pick up some fun tonight on the replay if you get a chance. Bruno Martins is saying, totally agree, cheers. Good to see you, Bruno. Good to have you in. And Gregor is here. He's saying, I think there's a US postal worker sipping 5 blind scotches right now. I don't think so, Gregor. I think it's just I didn't give it enough time. I shipped the stuff out to the States. I shipped a small package to Ben, SMWS, Single Malt Alliance. Ben Dietrich, he's been on a channel before, great guy. And I shipped a set to my buddy over in from Edinburgh, but he's over in Oregon now, Gregor McQuee. Gregor was a no-brainer to participate again. He did brilliantly in one of the previous blind challenges, so it was obvious that I was going to reach out to Gregor and invite him back to have more of the same. Somebody else that did very, very well, Sevi, the Alchemist, a local guy to me, he did brilliantly on another blind challenge that we did, so it was easy. And I thought, well, let's get the bottle chasers back in, Sevi, Scott Monroe, Kilted Moose, and Gregor. Unfortunately, Gregor didn't get his drams. Because of the issues that I'm talking about, because of the backlogs everywhere, because of just the overwhelmed networks that were out there, he didn't make it. Didn't get to Ben either. It didn't get to Scott Adamson from Tomatin. He was supposed to be joining us tonight. He's literally in Scotland. He's just a wee bit north of Inverness, and it didn't make it to him. But Sevi's here. Sevi the Alchemist made it. So we have somebody that's been on a previous blind challenge before representing us tonight. And what I did, amazing thing happened. Today, literally today, I reached out to 3 people local to me, 3 patrons and barflies local to me in Glasgow and said, if I can make up a new kit and get it to you today, are you up for participating tonight? Every one of them said yes. Much in the same way that every one of the original invitees also said yes without a heartbeat of hesitation. I'm gutted that Ben and Scott Adamson and Gregor McQuee can't join us tonight. They will still get their drams, and hopefully they're able to enjoy them on repeat as well. But you'll get to see I've managed to bring in some other barflies to take their place so the show can go on. Billy Saunders has bought me a dram as well, saying a dram from me for your Christmas. Have a brilliant time, and thank you for the content and keep us all going through a tricky year. Billy, I very much appreciate it, but the thing doesn't exist without you guys being here. I think it's wonderful that you are, Billy, and thank you very much for your wonderful dram as well. Cheers. I need to pour something else because I'm sipping my blind drams. And I don't want to do that because I'm finding it quite interesting, and I'm going to want to sip along with the people that are in the background. So I'm going to pour one of these slightly off screen. It's not in the lineup tonight, but I don't want anyone seeing it and people being led in any particular direction. Another dram coming in as well. Whiskey Malt Content is absolutely fantastic to see you now. I remembered your name. I committed it to memory. I can't remember, my friend. I'm usually a wee bit better than that. Thanks for all you do this year. Have a great holiday time, my friend. Cheers from Birmingham. And you gracious, he's given me his name, Vlad. Thank you very much, Vlad. Cheers to you, my friend. That's a lovely dram. Gary Carews in saying, Aquavita, I could have met you at Scotch Corner for a blind challenge handover. Gary, that might happen sometime in the future. But truthfully, the postal service and the distribution services and the mailing services should get back on their feet. And Hans is saying, we saw it anyway. Perhaps I wasn't too careful about pouring that. And John Della Cuisine thinks it's an RN21. No, it wasn't. Daniel Herman is saying, very distinct bottle. Enjoy the off-camera dram. I've clearly been busted. No problem. Falscraft is saying the bottle was recognisable for those who know it. And Daniel Vermass is saying, sorry guys, bedtime. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Also to you, Aquaviti. Daniel, my friend, I hope you have a very happy Christmas too, and I hope you enjoy your rest as well, buddy. Okay, so as I've said, let's just go on with the blind challenge tonight. I do have a couple of things to say, actually. I want to mention Dwayne Large. Wonderful to see Dwayne's photo today in social media and to hear his, and to read his words. And I got a direct message from Dwayne as well. Clearly, he's still got a huge recovery ahead of him. It's going to be difficult time ahead, but he's on his way. And he was reaching out just to say thanks for all the cards and all the positive support messages that you had generally, but also from the whiskey community, not just the barflies, but people from distilleries and various other whiskey groups and things that he's been involved with. And I think he was really quite touched by all the support. Dwayne, we're all thinking of you, my friend, and we're hoping for the very, very best and speediest recovery for you going forward as well. I also want to say thank you very much to my friends over in Germany, who today I received 2 packages. I've received a lovely package of German treats and samples from Luna Aaron. Quite interesting samples, actually. Let's just mention these to see if we can get any intelligence on some of these as well. Stefan Novak always sends interesting stuff. He sent a Glenturret 12 maiden release matured in European oak, and very interesting one. I'll get to this one in a second. I'll keep this one till last, Stefan. A Glenmurray SMWS, a peated Isla, something I can enjoy over Christmas. From Luna Aaron, I got a German rye whiskey. It looks like Lübehusen. I probably am making a mess of that, but it's a Lübehusen rye, single cask, 42.8% and 3 years old. And I've also got Whiskey Jason's charity blend. It looks like 57.3%. So I need to discover a wee bit more about that, what Whiskey Jason has been up to there over in Germany, and a Luna special. So I've got some Christmas drams from Luna. Thank you so much, as well as your German treats too. Also from Stefan, I've got an Elsburn Wayfair Batch 1 cask-strength. Never even heard of Elsburn Wayfair. Stefan, I'd be really curious to hear a wee bit more. And this one I'm particularly interested in. This is an Onjaba, maybe, Namibian whiskey, elephant dung peated. So we've heard of the Icelandic floki that's peated using sheep dung. And this is, well, smoked, let's say, using sheep dung. And this is, he's written elephant dung peated, but he has put quotation marks around peated. So yes, it's smoked using elephant dung. That will be an interesting one, but he's given me enough of a sample to be able to share it. So maybe it might be the type of thing that I pour for someone blind so that they're not put off by the elephant dung thing. Wonderful stuff. Yes, so the challenge went out, and yes, it didn't reach to everybody, but the barflies, being barflies, the wonderful people that they are, they've come to the rescue, and we've got a show. We've got enough people to get a sample going so that we can put some colours, some dots on paper, and some dots on the screen to see if there's any patterns build up. What I've tried to do here is furnish people with 5 whiskies that I would consider fit that type of whiskey that you might be reaching for after a really busy Christmas day. One that you're going to take to the fireplace, perhaps with a healthy scoosh of water as well, and sit and unwind on Christmas Day. So we're looking for really Christmas flavours, Christmas spice, that kind of dram. Maybe something bold and powerful as well. Something of a decent high ABV cask strength. So I've sent out whiskies that I feel fit that profile. I have to say that these whiskies are very, very close together. So they don't have the lifelines that they would normally have in a regular blind challenge. These are really tight together. And the focus here is to discover where does the budget, because these whiskies range from £45 to, I think the most expensive one retail is about significantly north of 100, and one of them you would maybe struggle to get your hands on for anything less than significantly more than that, let's say. But so I want to work out where do the cheaper ones come in, and I want to work out, to my palate, these are all very, very close. And if I was sipping these in isolation, I don't think I could necessarily pick them out. In fact, I'll go further than that. I am sipping these in contrast tonight, these 5 whiskies, and I'm switching them backwards and forwards. Now, you might ask yourself, Roy, how are you doing this blind? You created the challenge. I am not doing it fully blind. I know what these whiskies are. So you could argue that it's actually tougher for me, because if I get them wrong, I'm going to look and feel a wee bit silly, but I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm fine with that. What I've done, instead of putting a coloured dot on the glass, there's a coloured dot underneath the glass, so I can't see it. Maybe you'll get to see it as I sip the dram. So you might have a chance of keeping it. Oh, that's suddenly tasting a lot better, and I've put that in 5th place. Lovely bright fruit coming from that now. You'll get to see the coloured dot. And what I'm just trying to do is to try and put my favourite to least favourite and try and lock that in. Then as I go on, I'll continue to play the challenges and things with the other guys and see if I get them right. It doesn't matter if I don't, and try and play along as much as I can. At the end of the day, my points and things don't really count for much other than to ridicule me if I get it completely wrong. But I want to kind of have my prediction in there, what I think should be first to least, and see how it actually matches up on the night, because it's as much about me and what I want to spend my money on as it is about helping you and what you might want to spend your money on. I missed 2 drams. I missed a dram from Greg over in France. You star, first time trying to do a super chat, you star. Thanks for what you do for the whiskey community, Roy. Heartfelt greetings from a French barfly. Thank you so much, Gregor. Thank you so much for the dram, and heartfelt Christmas greetings and grateful thanks back to you as well. It's wonderful to have you here any week, and you don't have to be reaching to work out how to do super chats, my friend. Thanks, Gregor. And Ronald is saying, Roy, thank you for the long evenings of long evenings. I like it, Ronald, of entertainment. Wishing you and your family a good Christmas and a healthy 2021. Ronald and Greg over in France. I know, Ronald, you're not in France, but thank you both for your virtual drams. Thank you so much. Happy Christmas, Ronald. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Hopefully my guests are in the background. Hopefully they've ranked their whiskies 1 to 5 in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them in one at a time, and then I'll bring them all on screen one at a time, and we'll kind of work through what the process is going to be. The super drams are coming in. John Mark McLean is saying, blessed and safe holiday season to one and all. Slanjuva, folks. John Mark McLean, it's wonderful to know you, my friend. It's wonderful to have you in, and God bless to you as well. Cheers, John. Dancing Midge is saying, thanks, Roy, for being a beacon of light every week for us all. Best wishes for 2021. May fortune be with you and your guiding light shine strong. Glenn, you star, that painted that wonderful Lagavulin picture for me. Almost ordered a frame for that. I'm going to need your input. I think I'm a wee bit out on dimensions. I might need some support, Glenn, so that I can get that up. And I'm also thinking about having a slight change to the studio so that I can show off things like Charlie McLean's flavour wheel, your painting that you did of Lagavulin and things like that. See if there's any way of doing it. It might not be possible, but I might have a wee play over the Christmas holidays. Thank you, Glenn, very much for your dram too. First person I'm going to reach out to welcome in. He was the first. He wasn't the first member from the industry, the first person from the industry that stepped forward to participate behind the bar at the vPub, but he was the first whiskey maker, and I'm very, very grateful to him for that as well. And I'm also very, very grateful to this guy for the insight that he has. He shared with us that evening, and he continues to share with us, because he does pop in and leave wee nuggets of gold in the chat. He is a barfly too, and he'll sometimes give me some feedback and follow up on some of the discussions we've had. And it's kind of wonderful to have somebody like there in the background, almost acting it as a wee kind of buffer, a wee bit of a guiding light for some of the misconceptions and things we come out with. I'll reach out and I'll welcome in the first of our participants tonight, Michael Henry from Loch, Lomond. Hello, Michael. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Hi, Roy. Good, thanks.
Good. Are you getting through these whiskies?
Yes, I've had a couple of passes through, and kind of my orders staying the same. So I
That's good.
With my gut and go with my first picks. So
I have to say, for me, I'm stuck on the first and I'm stuck on the last, but the ones in the middle are kind of switching around a wee bit. But you're locked in then.
Yeah, I'm just actually trying to make sure I've got the coloured dots on the right ones.
Yeah, you don't want to lose track. Give me a summary of what you thought about the whiskies. Any that popped out for you?
In terms of, like, I don't drink much sherry whiskies when I'm at home. I like more kind of bourbon distillery character. So this is kind of, it's outside of my ballpark. So in terms of distilleries, I don't really have a clue about what's where. ABVs, I add a lot of water when I'm drinking, so
you do.
I'm not really there as well. I think I've my preferences done, and I think that's as far as kind of I've got.
That's all we need from you just now, Michael. That's all we need. And I think it's interesting what you said there. Immediately you said sherry cask is not. So immediately you've been drawn to. So you think we're sitting in front of a spread of sherry casks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Wonderful stuff. I'm not going to ask you what your preferences are yet, 1 to 5. I'm going to ask, is there any that stood out? Was it your favourite that stood out? Was it your least favourite that stood out? Or was there anything that was...
my least favourite stood out.
Right.
Quite a bit away from fourth. And then as it got closer to the first, they kind of narrowed.
Interesting.
So they were quite tight.
Excellent, interesting. So you've the top 4 are quite close together, kind of interchangeable, maybe.
Yeah, the top 3 really.
Top 3, okay.
Yeah,
that's it. That's interesting. That's really good. That's really good to get that feedback. Okay, Michael, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. I'll drop you into the background. We'll bring everybody back in again when we're going to do the colour reveal. And I'm going to ask my friend Dave Crichton. Just because he was next up on the list. I've gone out of order a wee bit, but that's okay. Dave, if you're good to come in. Dave, the superstar that you are, because of Ben and Gregor and Scott Adamson not getting their packs delivered to them, I reached out to you and a couple of other guys this morning, and you've come in at very short notice. So let me say live on air, thank you very much for saving me and saving this concept tonight, Dave. It's wonderful to have you again. I know it's not the first time that you've appeared in a vPub. Are you doing well?
I'm very well. It's a great pleasure to join you, Roy. I'm always happy to drink whiskey. It's not really a big deal.
You know I was trying to get you for the 3-year anniversary, don't you? Because I wanted you to come on and make a short confession. And I think it was an interesting story. Would you mind if I blindsided you and talked a wee bit about that just now? You and I are friends. Yeah, good. You and I are friends and we know each other through the Glasgow Whisky Club. I think you might have known me through the channel before in advance of that, but we've become friends through the amazing Glasgow Whisky Club, quite honestly. And through that, you always got this really interesting take on the channel and the content. I love your feedback. Sometimes it's really flattering and fills me full of warmth, and other times it's brutally blunt and really quite refreshing and kind of, but it's always constructive, and it's nice to chat with you about these things. But you always used to say, oh yeah, I don't know why I would sit and watch a 2-hour thing about whiskey. I don't understand what that's about. And yet here you are, a fully fledged, fully paid up barfly.
Yes, Roy, but I would rather be in the pub.
You're in the pub.
It's as simple as that. I think I give out really good content myself, and other people should be aware of that. So I'd rather have that intercommunication.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
In the absence of that, thank God for this, because I would have been barking up the walls.
Absolutely. And I think you speak for a lot of people who have the very same mind. But I'm going to go one further, Dave. And it's not because I have to sell this concept to you. It's just because you and I are fortunate that we live in Glasgow and we have wonderful pubs, a selection of wonderful pubs, whiskey pubs and other kinds of pubs. And we can get together and we can see friends. This kind of pub reaches way beyond that. And I've become friends with people from every corner of the world, even people in far-flung West End of Glasgow. I'm able to connect with and hang out every week. But listen,
when I look at your numbers, so there's 302 watching now on my other screen, and I think, well, that's an awful lot of people to shut up and listen to us two nat on. Whereas in a pub, I only have 4, and I'm quite good in a group of 4.
Yes, that's right. Well, it helps if you don't think about 300 people. That certainly helps a lot. If you don't imagine that. I hate to think what I would be speaking like if I was actually in front of 300.
If you could see them, you'd be off,
That's
you'd be
right.
absolutely petrified.
It would be crazy. It would be absolutely crazy. Listen, I want to just say thanks very much to you for all the contributions that you've made throughout this year. And it's been wonderful to have your humour in and your insight and things like that as well. And I think that even when the COVID lifts, I think that you'll still pay us wee cameo visits from time to time as a barfly. Anyway, Dave, tell me what you're thinking about the 5 whiskies in front of you.
So I'm slightly different to Mike in that I've got a clear winner, and I've got 4 others that I would rank happily in almost any order.
Excellent. That's exactly what we're after.
But I would say these are substantial drams. I'm really enjoying them. Your Christmassy theme comes through loud and clear. I would say they're all sherried. I don't spot any peat.
Good.
I'll take the low-lying fruit with that one.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you what your favourite is, but you've got a clearly defined favourite. That's a super interesting thing.
From the word go.
Excellent, wonderful stuff. In that case, what I'll do is I'll bring you back in, and hopefully you're going to have placed, just to let everybody know, they've got a scorecard, a whiskey scorecard that's going to become their tasting mat in a second. And what they can do is while I'm chatting to other people, is they can use their coloured dots. We've got a slightly different coloured theme tonight. We've got pink, silver, brown, black, and purple tonight. I know that the other colours cause havoc with colour blindness. I'm sure that this is probably going to be similar. But in any case, they're going to put the coloured dots and the preference 1 to 5, and that's it locked in. That becomes their tasting mat, and that'll help them keep track throughout the night before they go on to their challenges and things. Anyway, Dave, wonderful to have you in, my friend, and wonderful to have you supporting. I'll call you in a wee minute. Superb, Dave Crank, one of the saviours. And we're going to reach out to one of our regulars. We're going to reach out to Sevi, the Alchemist, and see if he's in good shape to bring us in. Now, Mr. Severin, what's this you have here? The Coca-Cola?
Oh, sorry, I'm on. Apologies.
Forever the forensic scientist, right?
How are we doing? Sorry,
wonderful to have you back again. You were already locked in from the start because you had an exceptional performance as one of the bottle chasers that were involved in a previous blind challenge, and you did very well. The only guy that we're missing tonight, the only guy out of the bottle chasers actually that couldn't make it tonight because of another commitment, is obviously our friend Kilted Moose Scott Monroe. He was invited, but we've got another substitute that was asked quite early on, and she was happy to come on and take her place. I'll introduce her in a wee minute. But we've got Sevi back again. Are you feeling now that you've been through these jams, are you feeling as confident as you have before?
Literally can't tell the difference between any of them. No, that's maybe a bit harsh. I feel like I was saying in the chat there, they're all really good drams. Like I don't know whether I'm more like Dave or more like Michael, but I have a clear favourite, but and a clear last place. But the 3 in the middle are very much interchangeable. And I think I've got one distillery.
Oh wow! That's and I know that we talk about this a lot. What we're doing here is trying not to guess and second guess, but I understand completely. It's impossible not to do it. So you think you've got a distillery?
Yeah, and I can't wait to be so wrong that because
you can offer it up. You can offer it up. You can make a wee guess if you think you've got something out there.
Right, already. Okay, right, fine. So through a little bit of colour, a little bit.
Don't say the colour. Don't suggest what colour it is. Just tell us what you think the distillery is. Oh, you think we've got a daft milk? Now that's interesting. That is a cask-strength, isn't it?
It is indeed. That's why I kind of thought I raced upstairs to try and find my one and stuff like that. So this is.
Tell me how much we would have to. How much would Roy have to pay to get their hands on that daft mill? Is that the La Maison Deux one, or is that the original sherry cask?
No, that's the original sherry cask. So the thing is that's the thing for me. So I'm going to use. Well, I don't want to give it away in case, but one of the using my forensic ability. I thought I would go for some like a little bit of a guess, and just through when you were talking about prices, you were talking about kind of cask strengths and stuff. I've also done the classic thing as well that a scientist does. You've always got to look at the colour and make sure. So I've been trying to kind of match up kind of colours and stuff like that as well. But otherwise, I've no idea. But I'm excited. Everyone in the chat has been so gracious in saying that, oh, they think, oh, Sevi's going to do well. I've no idea why, because I've done well once by absolute accident, and the rest of the time I've been absolutely murder at this, as they say.
Do you know who Ruel Chisholm is?
No, I don't. No, who's?
Okay, he's in the chat. I'll just tell you, his name is Orange Ruel. Look at his chat. Look at his comment, and that might help you avoid running down a bit of a dead end, buddy.
Okay, thanks very much, Orange Rule. I can see that. That's going back upstairs. No bother. Forget what I just said there. Orange Rule, there's a dram in the post to you, sir.
There is only one in the lineup tonight that would be tricky to get a hold. You know what the channel's about? It's about trying to share whiskies that we can get our hands on. There is one that would take a bit of effort to get your hands on, but you can still get it. The rest of them are more or less generally available. So the Daft Mill immediately, as wonderful as Daft Mill can be, it's just too expensive. We would be chasing ourselves for it and things. So I can give you a wee help. Just because I love you so much, big guy, I'm not going to have you chasing Daft Mills. There's no Daft Mills in the lineup tonight, buddy.
The reason I say that,
I like the glass topper action that you've got on there.
Thank you. Because when you said £145, I thought that's bang on. That's doing a sneaky here. I thought that was going to be the premium one, but.
See, that's the second guessing. Go with the gut. Go with what you like. Go with what you enjoy. Buddy, I'll bring you in a wee minute, and hopefully you're going to have all your coloured stickers in, and we can all pull them up at the same time. I'm going to reach out to Karen and bring in Karen now. Sevi, I'll see you in a wee minute on the other side. Good to have you, buddy. Yeah. Karen was obviously asked Kilted Moose to join us again. A fabulous guy, Scott Monroe. He's a local guy in Glasgow as well, but he's got a commitment on tonight. I reached out to Karen from the Whiskey Club. We know each other. Karen's been on the show once before, and immediately she just came back and said, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to. So Karen, thank you so much for being so enthusiastic about joining in tonight as well. But probably you had an idea that I was going to send you at least one or two nice wee whiskies. Give me a summary of what you've approached so far.
Exactly, Roy. Yeah. Thank you very much for including me in this tonight. It's been a treat. I think, well, yeah, they're all nice whiskies. There's no doubt about that. Before I just make a quick comment, I just like to give a shout out to Climb and Dine, Adam and Kate from Manchester. Before I moved up to Glasgow, they actually run the Manchester Whiskey Club, and we all met through studying chemistry back in the day. So they're the ones that got me into whiskey in the beginning. So
so they're to blame. What's their names, Kate and
Adam and Kate?
Adam and Kate from I
think Kate's there. Yeah, Climb and Dine. They're called. Yeah, they're listening.
Welcome in, Adam and Kate. Welcome in, and thank you very much for bringing Aaron into our world. Fantastic.
Yeah. So whiskey wise,
go ahead.
It's tricky. I'd like to throw a couple of distilleries out there already. I don't know if that's okay.
Well, you can if you like. But it might help us determine how you've got on with it. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the first one I tried tasted like Glengoyne profile to me, but there's something about it that makes it not just a sherry bomb. So at first I thought, oh, is it the teapot dram? But no, it had quite a savoury note to it. So I'm thinking, are they all sherried or are they not? Is there something, have you thrown us something a bit different in there? Not quite sherry, but something similar to that. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, let me say that tonight's focus is really on testing these whiskies, and I have tried to deliberately not throw curveballs towards the participants. Maybe that helps a wee bit. But continue. I like what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a couple of sherry bombs that I instantly put towards my favourites, and then for the rest, because they're all really good, I just kind of separated it on the finish, because that's really important to me when I'm tasting whiskey. So if it's got a finish, I really enjoy that. So.
So the one at the start is bringing is got a longer, more engaging, richer, perhaps enduring finish than the ones towards the end. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. There's a couple with that profile. Not necessarily the two that like scream sherry bomb to me. There's a third one in there, which is my choice number 3, which is a little more subtle but has that long, everlasting finish going on. So.
Excellent. Is there any definition, or is it a kind of gradual kind of incline?
I'd say most of them are gradual, except for this one, which kind of seems to kind of roll along. It really finishes quite long, and I don't know what it is, but
that's your favourite. That's your favourite.
I've not rated that one my favourite, but it's up there. It's definitely up there.
So you're most interesting. Excellent. In that case, it's going to be interesting. I don't want you to share the colour just now. Stick your wee stickers on your tasting mat. What we'll do at some point, I'm going to do the exact same thing, because I have locked in mine 1 to 5 right now, and I'm going to uncover what they are, and I'll do the exact same thing, and we'll all hold it up at the same time, and I'll bring you in a couple of minutes, Karen. Thanks very much for coming in and joining us. I'll speak to you in a moment when you've locked in your favourites. Okay, let's get through who we've got still to speak to. We've spoken to Dave. We'll try and reach out to Neil now. We were having a bit of technical difficulties with Neil earlier on. Hopefully he's in good shape. Neil, I'm really hoping we can see you. Oh, you've got your nose in a bottle. You've got your nose in a bottle of Coquerin. No doubt that'll be the 57.1 or also Richard Sherry cask that you've got your nose in there.
It's got to be in there somewhere. It's got to be in there somewhere.
Everybody's trying to second guess. Now, I know you've been on the channel before, Neil, but it's nice to welcome you back in again. Thank you so much. Like your buddy Dave there, coming in at the very last minute to take one of the spaces that were made available by the lack of samples getting into the hands. Wonderful to have you, my friend. What have you made of our whiskies so far, Neil?
It's been fantastic, Roy. I just love blind challenges so much because they really show how little I know about whiskey. One that I've been not so keen on, whereas the other 4, they just kind of, I've had my favourite down in 4th position, I've had it back up in 1st position, I've had them all around, I've had a bit more water, I've given a bit more time. I probably should have gone with my gut reaction, but I don't know where I am now. All I would say is they're 4 really, really good whiskies. I'm enjoying all of them. There's one that I'm not so keen on.
So does that mean you're not keen on it, or is it just that in the comparison today, it's probably left wanting a little? Is it still a dram that you would be quite happy drinking, or is it something that's there that's quite challenging? What would you say?
It's certainly not my favourite, and I wouldn't rush to buy a bottle of it.
I have to say, the one I put in 5th place when I first started sipping, Neil, it was clearly 5th place. Boom, went straight to the back of the queue. As I've got my wee Sippers Social Club dropper here. And all I'm doing is adding a wee scoosh of this at a time. And I'm doing it across all of them. And I love doing this with these cask-strength whiskies. They're super spicy, super bold and grippy, and they work almost as anesthetics when you sip them neat or try to. So over the course of the evening, I scoosh to take them down layer by layer by layer, is changing it. And this number 5 that I put at the back, I suddenly am deciding that I'm going to keep it there because of that initial reaction to it. But it's the fruit. Each time you put another wee bit of water in, it's bringing more and more fruit. So you've got one that's sitting at the back there that even with your adding water, it's not recovering much for you.
It's the sherry. If it's a sherry dimension to it, I think it's a short sherry finish. I don't think it's necessarily particularly old, because now the sherry elements to it are vanishing.
Super interesting. There may be one that is either exactly as you describe, or perhaps a marriage or something like that. There just may be. Anyway, fascinating stuff. You've got it locked in. Put your wee sticky labels on, and I'll bring you back in, and you can give us a visual card in a wee second, and we'll see how everybody's got on, and then we'll move into the challenges. Neil, I'll speak to you in a wee minute. Thank you for saving me today. Thank you, buddy.
Great, right.
And finally, we'll go to the man in a Santa hat and the really cool T-shirt. We'll bring in another guy that stepped in at the last minute as well. This is Alan Mclaughlin. Again, somebody that's local to me. I had to be in driving distance, Alan. Thank you so much for coming in and picking up one of the spare sets that I was able to make overnight. And can I just compliment you on your attire this evening?
No problem at all.
Oh, no, I was talking about your hat. Thanks for getting into the spirit of things. This is the closest thing I have now to a Christmas jumper, you see, my Star Wars T-shirt. How are the whiskies playing for you tonight? Are you enjoying them, Alan?
Yeah, I'm enjoying them all. There's one, I think everyone's got one that seems to sit separate from the rest. I'm kind of finding that too, but I'm still enjoying it. The other four seem to dwarf it a little, and I'm not sure why that is. And if I try to just take on its own, I'm really, really enjoying it. Kind of like Dave, I've got a clear favourite, and the other four I have went back and forth on. So I've committed to my order, but my issue being is without a bit of air, that order changes, and without a bit of water, that order changes. So I can take these whiskies in different ways and put them in different orders based on how I have them.
Absolutely, same as me.
And then the same as Karen and Sevi, I feel like I've got an idea of some distilleries as well. One of them I'm fairly confident on because I own the bottle. And if it isn't it, because it's a bit more of one of the more expensive bottles, if it's not it, I really want to know what that bottle is, because if it's cheaper, that's an ideal replacement.
Well, that's the thing that we're trying to discover here. Are there things that we're kind of dismissing, maybe because of price point, brand, whatever it is, that maybe could capture our imagination if we sip it blind? But tell me, as I try to, I'm just going to try and grab a wee link so that I can start to share with the barflies what we're talking about, and little by little give them insight into what we are doing here. So what I'm going to do, while I've still got Alan on, is I'm going to put a link in, and that link is going to take you to a presentation, a Google Slides presentation, that if you're fortunate enough to be watching on a desktop or whatever, you can click. And you can go in and look. And all it's going to show you right now is coloured dots in order. But what it'll do in time is that I'll drop in slides there that'll start to reveal to you what the whiskies are in advance of our participants. I don't need to question our participants' integrity. Nobody will be clicking on those links in the background because they very much want to be part of the fun. And every single person I've got in here, there's no question of that being an issue at all. So I can share these links with you. And I'm sure that they wouldn't want to jeopardize their thinking or have their thinking sabotaged by looking too early. So I'm going to drop that link in with you, and what will happen soon is when we start to get into the challenges and things like that, and we start to get into the semi-blind matchup, you'll see me just reveal another wee slide extra so that you can see what we're sipping along with. There's nothing to look at right now, it's just coloured dots, but you'll see me manipulating those coloured dots in time and putting them in order. Alan, you're the last guy I have to speak to, so I'm going to drop you into the background. I'm going to ask you to lock in your coloured dots on your retasting mat or your whiskey scorecard, and I'll bring you all in simultaneously in a second or two and get you to hold it up. Alan, thanks very much for joining us, buddy. Thank you.
Yes.
Good to have these folk coming in, and when I couldn't get the packages there, I'm just so grateful. Okay, so I dropped that in. You should be, I can see there's lots of people coming in now. There's loads of people looking at it. You're not looking at anything right now. You're just looking at the dots in a certain order. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to reveal, I'm not going to do it vocally, but I'm going to see, oh, wow, what I put is my favorite here. I'm going to put the colored dots in for me as well. And I'm going to try and keep this off camera. So there's number one locked in. I'll look at the second one. Wow. Wow. Now, this did change a wee bit for me with water. It did switch up. I was tempted to mess around and change it a bit. Oh, interesting. Super interesting, because I know what this one is. I think I know what the first two are, but I'm not 100% sure. So I've got that locked in. And the number 4. Ooh, okay. Okay, number 5 is that. Okay, interesting. Now, I would be shocked if we see lots and lots of nice clean lines like you see in that slide that I've put in there right now. But you never know. So that's me. My scorecard is locked in. The colours are here. I'll be able to show it at the same time as everybody else. Let's jump into the chat and grab a couple of you guys. Falsgrave say, thanks, Roy. This is going to make this more engaging for us. Absolutely. I want you to see soon, while the other guys are trying to do their challenges, you'll be able to see what the whiskies are. So that might help you a wee bit. Carlos San Diego's bought me a dram. Thank you, Roy, for giving us something to look forward to on Thursdays. A happy and Merry Christmas to you and yours. Carlos, thank you so much for being here and making it a wonderful wee escape for me as well. Although it's Tuesday tonight. Next week will be Tuesday as well. Carlos, thanks for reminding me to mention that. I can't do, as much as I'd love to do a Hogmanay live stream on Thursday, the 31st of December, the internet is going to break. There's all the Zoom calls that's happening all over the world. The internet is going to struggle. But I also want to just kind of take New Year with the family. So I'll pull the end of the year stream forward to the Tuesday as well, which will go out on the 29th. Ross Fudd is in it. Good to see you, my friend. No Christmas jumper. Something could be done about that. Well, this is if I sat here in a jumper under these lights, can you imagine how red I would be? It gets pretty warm in my house. My wife likes to have a warm house. I usually have the fan on. It isn't on tonight because we are in the really cold winter. Let's see if there's anybody else trying to get my attention. Jimmy Leg is saying, can I guess them without tasting them? You should go along and do exactly that if you think you can have any fun and hopefully help the wee links that I'm going to drop in. And in time, that link, I'll keep dropping that link in, and I'll drop in other sheets so that you can see what the whiskies are, of course. Chris Pollack is buying me a dram and saying, thanks for the vPub, Roy, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, Chris. Thank you very much. And thank you also to Carlos San Diego. Cheers, boys. Thank you. Okay, let's do this. Let's bring everyone in. Let's bring in Michael. Let's bring in Dave. Let's bring in Karen. Let's bring in Alan. Let's bring in Neil. Oh, somebody's got their output dialed right up, and let's bring in Sevi, who's currently mid the story of Scotch whisky.
Oh, sorry, am I back again? Apologies.
You're live, my friend. Chris Brown just brought me a dram saying, cheers, right, Merry Christmas to you and the family. Am I keeping you up, or am I distracting you, Sevi? Were you trying to get sense and tips from that wee book?
I was indeed. No, I was actually eating behind the book, so that no.
Good for you. I have to say, there's no much is going to help you in the wee book. So here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do is, just for a visual lock-in, for commitment's sake, we're going to hold up that visual card, and we'll all hold it at the same time. We'll kind of pause and look at it for a second and make it ooze and araz, and that's interesting. And then we can put it down, and then I'll go through one of you at a time, and I'll sort the orders out into the screenshot that I've got. So the Google Docs thing that I've got sharing with the chat right now, so that they can see the score. Then when I send you off to do your challenges, I'm going to drop in what the whiskies are. So I'm just going to ask, I know I don't need to ask you, but don't click on the link and don't look at them. Don't get distracted with that. Just try and focus on the 5 challenges. Once we get to that challenges point, this is purely for fun, people. This is just for fun. You're not going to be judged on this. If I was doing it, in fact, I am going to be doing it, but I know what they are. So it's a memory thing for me. But if I was in your shoes, it would be brutally difficult to do. It's just for fun. And we do have a team thing going on here, don't we, Sevi? What's the team thing? You've recruited 2 team members. Originally, I was thinking Michael Henry could join Ben Diedrich and Scott Adamson, and we'd have like an industry threesome. And then the community would be Karen, Sevi, and we've lost our Neil. It would be Karen, Sevi, and Gregor McQueen, but that's not happened. So what's the teams tonight, Sevi?
Well, I looked at the gentry, and I thought to myself, what is a great way? How can we distinguish 3 people from 3 people? Like, everyone is so good looking that I thought it's going to be very difficult. But I thought the only way that we can do this is it's going to be facial hair versus no facial hair. So that's what we've got here. We've got the 3 bearded maestros against people with no beards. So there you go. So
absolutely superb. I think that's a perfect way to do it. This is, again, if we're just going to add any more fun, there's nothing competitive in this. But so we've got Precarious Dave. We've got Dave against, Dave, Alan, and Sevi then against Karen, Michael, and Neil, who's just had brand new super fast fibre broadband installed, and he's clearly having a wee bit of trouble with it, and he's dropped out. But it's no problem. We'll keep a hold of his scores, and I know that his stickers will be locked in and things like that as well. Okay, let's do a wee countdown. Is Neil available? Let's see if we can get Neil in. No, there's nothing appearing. He's got a blank screen. Okay, after 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow. Quite a spread. Quite a spread. And you've got Daphne written in every single one. Now, I'm looking to see, Karen and I have a favourite, I think. We both like the favourite there, right? The pink seems to be the same. So that's...
Right, that's funny, like, I had exactly the same order as you, but then I changed the grey and the black last minute. That's true.
Wow. Very close. Very close. This is going to be super interesting. Let's see. Okay, what I'm going to do then, you can drop that. Devices. It looks like Neil's trying to come back in. If he can come back in, I'll grab him and get him to hold it up. But what we might need to do is over message or something, Dave, is get the colours in from Neil on a SMS or however. You can do a tin can and a string, perhaps. Okay. I'm going to try and manipulate this live. So there's loads of people in looking at this. And I'm going to put mine in. So my prediction is actually the order that's there right now. And it's almost, I am not far from what I predicted. Bear in mind, it doesn't really mean anything because I know exactly what the drams are. So I'm already super biased. Don't pay any attention to me. But let's play it down now through. Michael, your first colour is, what's your first?
Grey.
You preferred the grey one first. Excellent. Second?
Second was brown.
Excellent. Third?
Black.
Black. Okay.
Fourth was pink.
Fourth is pink. And finally, that leaves you with the purple colour, right? So silvery grey, brown, black, pink, purple. Excellent. Sevi, what's your first?
So I've gone black is my favourite.
Excellent.
I've gone grey as my second favourite.
Good.
Although I will say that they were like a revolving door, the two of those.
Superb.
I've settled on it that way. Purple was my third.
Good.
Pink was my fourth. And brown was my clear last.
Black, silver, purple, pink, brown. Excellent. Karen.
So my first was pink.
Superb.
Second was black.
Okay. Third is
Third
silver.
was grey. Grey or silver.
Yep.
Fourth was purple. And the fifth was brown.
Okay, good. Pink, black, silver, purple, brown. Superb. Now, we're going to see if Neil's not available, so I'll ask you for Neil's in a wee bit. We've also got George Kaplan's bought me a dram as well. George, I don't want to miss that. He's saying, best of luck, blind barflies and cheers. I will have to catch the rest later. Good night, folks. George, it's always wonderful to have you in, and I know it's not night time where you are. It's very much early in the afternoon. Always a pleasure to welcome you here, my friend. Thank you for your virtual dram, George. Cheers. I also say that Vin, No Nonsense Whiskey Vin, is in the background as well. Vin, if you want to send me on WhatsApp what your order is, I'd be happy to plug it in. And we've also got Willie Dolier, who's got a set as well. I sent it out to him for his birthday, so he's playing this in the lounge too. So Willie, if you want to send me a direct message, either on WhatsApp or whatever, or you can even put it in the chat here, and I'll try and catch it so that I can include your lineup as well. Neil is back. Let's see if we can get any answer from Neil at all. He's just freezing, isn't he? We're not even getting a feed up from him. I can see a thumbnail from him, but he's not coming in. Dave, let's have yours first. Let's have your order, Dave.
Oh, sorry. I go from this side, silver or grey.
Yep, that's doing very well, the silver so far, yep.
Black.
Black is also quite strong performer, yeah.
I think black's quite weak, but I still liked it. I wanted to put it lower, but it fell back. And then pink moved around an awful lot. Really, but it's brown, pink, purple.
Purple at the end, and pink second from last, brown in the middle.
In the
Okay, good.
retake, after I put the labels on, pink and purple move around.
Pink and purple.
You know, they'll all change again in about 10 minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, when we talked about that definition thing, so you're at the point that some of these are so close that they're actually switching in front. And is that with you adding water or just sit by sit?
I added water to everything. I think black is the one that needed the least water.
Yep.
I got through black very quickly. The others all massively needed water. Me.
I think you're all going to be
Really, Dave, because I thought black was the strongest one by far. It was like, for me, it like absolutely blew my whiskers off, which would obviously take me out of our team, but at the same time. But yeah, sorry.
Neil is struggling to get in. I can see him trying it. His feed's coming up, and he's just kind of flaking and break. I think it's his connection. So if there's any way that you can get his score from him, Dave, I would appreciate it.
Right, I've got Vins if you want it.
Excellent, Sevi. Thank you very much. Go right ahead with.
Okay, so where are we here? So, sorry, where is it? It's now just So Vins was grey, brown, purple, pink, black. So he's
grey, brown, purple, pink, black. Yep. So where are we here? So in summer, we're still waiting on Alan to share his, and we're still waiting on Neil and Willie Dolia. Alan, you give me yours now.
Yeah, so first for me was grey.
Grey's doing very well. Grey's doing very well. We're all hoping that Grey's the cheaper one, right? Yep.
And then second for me was purple, but that was before water. Kind of slipped to fourth place after water, but for now I'm going to leave it as locked in. So second place, purple.
You want to leave it? You want to leave it second, okay?
Yeah.
And then next?
Then pink.
Yep.
Then black.
And the brown.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now let's try Neil one more time. Come on, Neil. No. It just doesn't. The feed just doesn't want to come in. He must be so frustrated. Whoever has his brand new super fast broadband provider is going to get an angry phone call tomorrow. He's just fibre installed. Okay, has anybody got Willie Dollier's? And has anybody managed to pick up Willie? He might not. I'm not actually sure we'll see him tonight.
I'm sure Willie said to me he's still looking for the.
Oh, he sent me a photo. Look at that. He sent me a photo. Now he's got black as his favourite. Willie was kind of willing to come on camera, and he thought, well, you know, I'd rather it was desperate if I needed to break cover, but it's super that he was even considering it. And there is Willie Dollier's order here. Interestingly, he's put pink at the end, and that's my favourite. But he's chosen black and silver as top two. Purple is his middle ground, brown, then pink. So seeing quite a spread, but there's a pattern emerging. Silver is clearly doing very, very well. So the only one we're waiting for is Neil. Dave, do you have Neil's? Can Dave Crichton hear me? Can Precarious Dave hear? Can you hear me?
Sorry, no, I don't have Neil's.
You don't have
No
Neil's?
reply.
Well, let's get Neil's. Let's get Neil's. Watch this. We'll just go back to good old tin can technology.
Hi, phone a friend.
No, don't worry about it at all. We've been joking that your broadband provider is going to get an angry phone call tomorrow. Give me your colours, my friend. Tell me how you're getting on. Well, I only needed to make one change to the prediction I had locked into that lineup. Quite interesting. And some of them are quite similar to me. So pink, purple, grey in the middle, followed by black and brown. Okay, buddy. Hopefully you're able to pick up the stream on the live then, and you can watch along. And I'll call you. Continue with your challenges, my friend. And if you can't get in the stream, I'll give you a ring. Okay. Cheers, buddy. Thank you. Bye bye. We're hanging together with spit and excitement here. Elastoplasts and everything, but it's working. So I'm gonna. I can't show you right now what's going on here because I don't want you dipping at this. But I can tell you that the silver one seems to be doing pretty well. Pink seems to be doing reasonably well. Black is all over the place. Purple is all over the place. Probably looks like to me about 4th, and then 5th place right now seems to be brown, which is super interesting stuff. Nobody has picked brown or purple as their favourite. The favourite spots have all gone to silver, black, and pink. Okay, so now, everybody, while you're live on screen, let's open that second envelope, get it torn open. Now is the big reveal, and now I'm going to be listening for the reactions. So the challenge is envelope number 1.
I was going to say, guaranteed that the silver is the Jura 27 wood.
You just never know. Now I'm going to read out what these guys are reading right now. I'll hold it up to the screen here that you can see. These are the 5 challenges, and here they've got wee circles to put in another dot to lock in another colour. But the 5 challenges I've set these people today is 1, find the budget. £45 bottling. Now, I hear you screaming that £45 is not a budget bottling, but we're speaking about sherry cask matured product here. We're talking about cask-strength sherry cask matured product. It's difficult to get your hands on that style of whiskey at a low price. There is something in this lineup that's £45. I've also said find the 2005 Abuna. That's 2005 Aberlour Abuna. That's a 2005 release, which suggests that it's a pre-2000. It's from the last millennium Aberlour Abuna. That's obviously they're a non-age statement, super bold. The original set, it's literally Gaelic for the original, and you could say it's the original sherry bomb. It was the first one to come out at cask-strength and marketed and available regularly. They're now in batches, I think, way into the 60s. But I'm also asking them to find the 2018 Abuna. This is one that I bought a Good Spirits company in Glasgow 2-3 weeks ago. Very recent purchase, a very recent batch. So what we're doing there is we're comparing an old school Abuna, an old style Abuna, to a very recent one, because the talk on Abuna is that it's changed over the years, and every time they bring out a new one, it gets worse. So it's interesting. How much is that really true, and how much is just different? So we're going to we're actually comparing batch 16 against batch 62. Quite incredible. Number 4, I'm asking them to find Islander, and number 5, I'm asking them to find the Islander. So you can see these are impossible things I'm asking them. This is purely beard versus non-beard fun that we're in now. The only lack of dignity or dishonor, the only thing that you can lose is against somebody else with different facial hair. That's a pretty fun way to cut it up, I have to say. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the link that everybody has, and I'm going to drop in what the whiskies are. But the reason I really don't want you to look at it, folks, the participants, that I'm also telling everybody what colour it is as well, so that they can have a bit of fun participating. So I'm going to drop in that link again. Copy link, drop it into the chat, and then people get to see the challenges that you're up against. Okay, folks, I'm going to keep you on screen for this in the hope that Neil can pop in as well. Is there any obvious things that you're being drawn in the direction of? Oh, I can see immediately that you're going to need a wee bit of time to focus here. There is something to play for. I can see the serious faces have come on. Let me go and hang out with the barflies for a wee while and leave you some peace time to try and work through those 5 challenges. I'll give you 4 or 5 minutes and I'll bring you back in to see how you're getting on. Okay, sound good?
Okay.
Yes, deep in thought and contemplation. Wonderful stuff. Kevin Grant on Whiskey's saying, got a little bit of crackling going on. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. It's obviously, if I'm running kind of 5 or 6 different streams at the same time, I could hear it coming through as well. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It's just going to be, it was Chris Brown is voting for the non-beards. And I guess if your buddy Gregor McQueen would have been participating tonight, he would have been part of the non-beards, wouldn't he? I can see Neil coming back in again. Oh, it looks like he might have fixed this.
Yeah.
Neil, how are you doing?
Oh, Roy, technical problems tonight.
Yes. Well, it's good to see that you're animated and we can hear you. I'm just going to double check the order, Neil, and make sure get you up to speed. But I've got you down as pink is your favourite, purple is your second, silver is your middle ground, black and brown. Perfect. Okay. And now what I've asked, go ahead and open your challenges envelope in case you've not already done that. Your envelope number 1 with the challenges on it. And as I've already run through with the other guys, you'll see what those challenges are. Work through them over the next 4 or 5 minutes or so. I'll try and give you as much time as I can. What time is it now? We're almost at 11 o'clock of an evening. And you work through those challenges and I'll bring you back in. Neil, they're impossible. So you're part of the non-beard team and you're fighting against your beardy counterparts. And I'll bring you in a few minutes once you've had a wee bit of time to think about that. Good to see that you're back in the stream, buddy. See you in a minute. Fantastic. Actually, is saying if the beards lose, they must shave. Oh, actually, I don't know if I'd be happy about asking them to do that. But interesting. They must shave. Does that mean that if the non-beards lose, they have to grow beards? Kresimir is saying, I guess 4 out of 5 drams in the blind lineup. Wow, Sniper King, you are at your probably optimal best. Listen, if we get time to play a wee game of Is It a Speyside a bit later on, I'd be happy to do that. So maybe reach out to one of the participants tonight if they want to play. Service Alafis, sound is good now. It's now that it's only you. There's probably somebody in with a bit of a crackle. They've maybe not put their headphone jack in properly or something, anything like that. Kevin Grant and Whiskey, that makes sense, but it's still absolutely brilliant. Would love to catch snapshots of everyone trying to figure out the drams. Be nice to be a wee fly on the wall, wouldn't it? Daniel Herman is saying, I like the Aberlour batch 66 much more than batch 58. There is something in the 58 that threw me off. There is no doubt, Daniel, that you're going to have batch variation over anything that's a batch release product. What you find is that the ones that rave about, oh, that's a bad batch, there's other folk out there saying, well, this is a great batch. And it's maybe it's a fainty thing, an off-putting thing, a more challenging flavour note or whatever it may be. Maybe it's just taking it in a direction that's more in tune with some people's palates as opposed to somebody else's. I love to embrace batch variation. It's something that we need to get our heads around in Scotch whisky. Generally, Scotch whisky does change and it should be allowed to change. It's an organic product. Furthermore, it's matured inside another organic product. Batch variation, that's the skill of a blender, to bring consistency to mass market products. I love, rather than bringing consistency, just bringing the best product that they can. But I know that it's not a mass market ideology. Everwind is saying, I think it's interesting to see if the Abuna are paired or separated in the rankings. One would think they would be close. No, that's very, very interesting. So we're going to be able to look in and see the pattern here and see how the Abunas are and how they fare against each other. But remember that there's no science in this. This is not a scientific sample. It's just, honestly, it's just pure fun. I think the biggest takeaway that you can have is that if we establish that there's a relatively cheap and easily affordable dram or release that's really performing quite well, that's quite affordable and available to everybody. That's kind of what we want to hone in on. If we find that the expensive ones are sitting at the end or performing really, really well, that's going to help us guide us not to spend the money on something expensive that doesn't really bring that much engagement. Or, in fact, yes, look, it's justified. This expensive one has performed very, very well. We can understand why it's commanding a bit more money. Concepts like that, that's what we're chasing. Chris Brown is saying Gregor has dropped out tonight, so he can do the challenge fully blind when it arrives. He'll come back in after the reveal. I think that's fair enough, Chris. I understand it completely. And if Scott Adamson and Ben Diedrich, I think, are both doing the exact same thing as well. Neil Lavender is saying, what a challenge, loving the stream. Thank you very much, Neil. And Graham Horner is saying, it's too cold to shave. Temps are to drop next week. Wouldn't want any frozen baby faces. Superb, Graham. Honest Whiskey is saying, here's a weird thing. I think I have them in the same order as the challenges. Ooh. That's interesting, Vin. Let's have a wee look at Vin's lineup and see. See, I don't want to react to that. I maybe shouldn't, because I don't have much of a poker face, Vin, and I might give something away. Falscraft is saying it's the amount of streams you have going on. The amount of data is a lot to handle. The stream comes from your home equipment. It's only one video feed that Neil's picking up at his side, and it's only one video feed that he's sending up and bringing down. All the kind of I don't know what the word is. Suddenly I'm struggling for the word. All the streams are being put together inside StreamYard, and he's just seeing one video feed coming down. So I mean, it should be okay. I think that's the way I understand it to work anyway. Falsgraph. But I clearly Neil is struggling with these new fibre broadband. Actually, saying some people like rotten fish. Differences of opinion on batches whiskey are nothing in comparison. Absolutely. Alistair McPhail is saying, I have an Ambuno batch 61 and I'm enjoying it. Good, that's all that matters. Hellswood is saying, thanks for super content this year. A very Merry Christmas to you and your family. From Andy and me, much happier New Year, and the same to all the wonderful Barfly Slanchiva. Helen, Andy, we will get a chance to meet very, very soon. I hope, I fully expect it to be 2021 at some point. And not only will we be able to raise a glass, but I'll be able to give you both a dear hug for all the support that you've brought and all the colour and contributions you've brought over the course of the year as well. I love having you here, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for your dram. Cheers. I don't need to continue drinking this other dram. I can actually go back into my blind drams. Steve is saying, you're correct. The real work is done on the StreamYard systems. Falscraft is saying, he's talking about the crackle. Okay. And Hellswood is saying, bless you too, Helen. Okay, let's ask for thumbs. Thumbs if you're ready to come in, and no thumbs if you want a couple more minutes. Sevi, Alan, and Neil are both giving me a thumbs up. I'm looking for Michael. A thumbs up from Michael. Excellent. Precarious Dave is hiding. Karen is not sure. Karen, are you good? Oh, everybody's ready. Dave, are you ready? Thumb if you're ready. Excellent. It looks like everybody has locked in their challenges. So this is going to be interesting as well. And they get to keep their own score. What I'm going to do is I am going to put in the correct score. My points aren't anything tonight. I'm going to put in the score so that when people see mine, actually I can't do that. I can't do that yet because it would give away the semi-blind. Clearly I cannot do that yet. Good. Glad I worked that out. Jimmy Legg is saying, if you hug me, be warned, I'll hug back. I'm looking forward to that as well. Jimmy, I don't know whether I have to come to Canada or you have to come to here. However way it works out, let's make it happen. Okay, let's not me give away what they are. Let me just bring in Michael first, bring in Dave, bring in Alan, bring in Sevi, bring in Neil. Hope that Neil stays this time. And as soon as Karen appears again, I'll bring in Karen as well. She's run off probably to grab her coloured dots or something like that. So this is interesting. I'm going to put coloured dots in just to keep me right. I'm not going to show anybody what they are. And I have to be very careful that I don't do that. What do you think about the challenges, Michael? These are difficult challenges. We understand why I've done them.
No, I think a couple of kind of got there again. There were three that has kind of had answers pretty quickly on. There's two that are kind of jumping about.
Yep.
So it's kind of I've never really tasted a Buna much.
Right.
Really know what I'm comparing to.
Absolutely. And the thing is that also,
Michael, you could have told us about this confidence before we pick teams. Do you know what I mean? That's anyway. Sorry.
The thing is that I think there's a bit more pressure on Michael, because Michael's obviously very, very focused. His daily life is putting together Lomond products and the products that fall under his responsibility, with Scotia and the various blends that he's working on. The idea that Michael would come home and do what we do as whiskey enthusiasts and hunt all these bottles and all these whiskies and all these things from everywhere, I think it's absurd because of how much he's focused on it day by day by day. So it's going to be interesting to get his take on this, purely from somebody who you don't have the same prejudices as we do, Michael. Maybe you have prejudices, but they'll be different. Yeah.
Probably, I like tasting everything. So I don't just drink Scotch, I drink Irish, bourbon, South African, Japanese. So, and I just like brown spirits. And
Well, your promiscuity is what makes you a very appropriate barfly. somebody that's all over. That's exactly what we like to do. We like to try as many different things as possible. And the pursuit and the chasing of flavour. Sometimes money has that to do with it as well, though, and that's kind of a bit that's what's to do with tonight. So, if we had to go back into 2005 batches of a Buna, we'd have to pay a hell of a lot of money, maybe £200 more, depending on what batch it is. And there is talk that these legendary old Bunas are better than the modern ones. Let's wait and see if we can put any, if we can back up that argument, or decide that it's not, that we're just as content drinking contemporary Bunas. Dave, what about you? Did you feel confident about nailing a couple of these, or do you think you've just put sticky dots in randomly?
No, I didn't do it randomly. I've actually explained in the chat what I did, which is I decided that the two were a Buna. So I have no idea. I've never tasted a 2005 Buna, but I decided, well, okay, I'll rank those two together. And I had a low EV, I previously mentioned, so I decided that must be less than 45 quid, which is a bargain. And then I had a Highlander and an Islander to split up.
So that's how you've kind of gone with what you were most comfortable with. Yeah. And then the process elimination for the last three. Good. Neil, any confidence at all?
I think I've got a lot of false confidence, Roy. I'm fairly confident on the 45. I'm reasonably confident with two Bunas, despite never having tasted either of those two batches. It was the Highlander and Islander that it was just a guess between the two.
Excellent. But I mean, you have to apply a wee bit of knowledge here. You have to have, you're sitting with a sherry cask, a sherry bomb in front of you. So when you're looking at the islands and you're looking at all over, there's only a few distilleries that are really known for doing that kind of thing. So you can apply a wee bit of that, might help you, especially on trying to work out which is which. And then obviously that might help you. Well, I guess once we're going to reveal what they are, I think these are obvious, but you've already locked in with your sticky dots. You can't go back and change it, right? Hold up your wee things, by the way, just to show everyone that you've locked it in. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be a point. Superb. Everybody's dots are locked in. Superb. What we're going to do now then, unless Sevi or Karen has anything to add that's stood out, anything that you want to kind of nail your colours to, that say, yeah, I know that, hey, this is this. No?
I was checking whether Aberlour was ever a Highlander to see if he'd given us 4 Aberlours.
Let me help you there. Let me help you. A Highlander is not a Speyside, and in this example, a Highlander is not a Highlander. So the Highlander I'm looking for is neither Speyside or an Islander, okay? So that might help a wee bit. You're going to know exactly what it is, obviously, at the next stage. So I'm not going to ask you to go any further with this. You'll be able to reflect once the reveal happens at the end. You'll be able to give yourself a simple point for any of these challenges that you got right as per the previous challenge. Now, with all of you on live, we'll be able to open your myself back again, whose speaker's a bit loud. Okay, you'll all be able to open your envelopes and reveal what the drams are that you are sipping.
Are two of them Abelard Buna pounds?
Two of them have been away the challenge, absolutely.
That's why you're in our TV. That's why you're in our.
What about with that?
Also, Michael, your fake beard is in the post, by the way, for next.
Billy Sconders, my audio is choppy. I'm going to try and get through this while I mute of you guys. I'm sorry, I'll keep you in, but I'll mute you so that we can see you. Excellent. You're all muted, but I can't hear what you're saying. I'll go through them. Aaron Sherry Cask is one of the whiskies that they're sipping tonight. It's the new Aaron Sherry Cask non-age statement, 55.8% ABV. I've put a wee picture of it up on the screen there so you can see it. Aaron's cask strength, reasonably priced non-age statement sherry cask is filled from a 250 litre sherry hogshead and costs £55. A nice price point. Can it hold its own? Also in the lineup, as we've already established, we've got two Abelard Abunas. The first one is batch 16 at 59.6%, and I've written here one of the early bottlings from Abelard's original and celebrated cask-strength sherry bomb. This batch is bottled in 2005 at 59.6. Was it better in the old days, or was it just different? And the new batch is batch 62, as I've already suggested, very close on AV at 59.9. Bottled in 2018, but I purchased it in 2020, as I said, just 3 or 4 weeks ago at the Good Spirits Company in Glasgow. I picked this one up, and I've written here, bottled in 2018, 2020 purchased. There have been 46 batches released between the batch 16 and this. No doubt it's changed, but how much? Hopefully this will prove that it still is powerful sherry prospect today as it was back then. Interestingly, I've also added in a Glenfarclas 105 at 60% ABV, which is the 05 equivalent, of course, with a history dating back to the 1960s. That's when 105 first appeared. The Glenfarclas 105 is a legend. This is the only pour where we may encounter ex-bourbon casks in the batch, but it remains a spice bomb, and is our budget entry here at £45. Note, I've said here, this is from a slightly rarer, age-dated 10-year-old bottle. It's one of 4 out of 5 of the bottles that I'm sharing with people tonight I uncorked specifically for this challenge. I opened for that, but this is Glenfarclas 105, and you can see that there's a 10-year age statement on the back. Finally, Glengoyne Teapot Dram. I wish that you weren't muted for this. Glengoyne Teapot Dram is in the mix. Glengoyne agonise over which cask to put together for their occasional but anticipated release known as the Teapot Dram. This is batch 7. It's said to have older stock in the mix. We know that it's up to 14 years in this one, and it's slightly higher in price than previous batches. How will it fare against its peers? So I wasn't bringing that up. There's the Aaron, there's the Abelard batch 16 up on screen now. I should bring you guys back off mute now as well. 1, 2. We can hear you all again, Sevi and Neil. And I'll pop up the batch 62. And I'll pop up the Glenfarclas 105 that you've just seen there, and the Teapot Dram. So there we have it. There we have it. I'm going to let you guys go and put your wee coloured dots in to do your semi-blind matchup, and I'll bring you back in again. We'll do the big reveal, and we can work out how you got on points-wise. See you in a moment. There didn't look to be very many confident faces there. Did you notice that? They're taking it very, very seriously, which is okay, which is fine. There's a lot at stake here. It's non-beards against beards, after all. So there is a lot to play for. Jimmy, like I was saying, you sent out Teapot. Wow, it's more wow than that, actually, Jimmy. I have to be careful not to show the coloured dots on this. That's all I have left of my Teapot, and it was way, way up high. The Teapot was the only one that was already open. The rest of these were opened for this exercise, so you can see how much has been taken out of this Aaron. I'm keeping the colour away to the dot away to the side, so I don't give anything away. There's the Abelard Abuna batch 62. 13 sets I've made out of this. And I'm going to give away a set as well. And going Farquhars 105, you've already seen, and a teapot you've already seen. Here is a set that somebody in the chat is going to be able to win. I was chatting to Michael Henry, he was one of the first on earlier, and I said if he's got a question handy that he can come up with, we'll ask the barflies and they can grab themselves this blind challenge. Now, you know what's in here now, but you can still play it blind because of the sealed envelopes that are in here, and because of the lack of anything other than a coloured dot on the sample bottles. You can go and watch this on the replay and play along blind and skip through all the bits in between too and see how you got on. Ryan Sutherland has bought me a dram, saying all the best, Ryan. Well done on tonight's format. It's certainly been entertaining. I knew that Aaron Badiga was the £45. The Glenfarclas 105 is £45. Aaron Badiga I've seen on offer for less than 50, sure. The sherry cask, Aaron. But normal price is about 51, 52, 53 to £55. A wee bit higher, but it's still a fantastic value prospect. Interesting to see where it's going to place tonight. You already know that because you've seen it, but let's see how the guys got on. Cheers and good night, everyone. Ryan, thank you very, very much. And Jimmy Legg is saying, sending you this to help you afford that in the next teapot. That was way too generous, completely in character. Jimmy, that's way too generous of you, completely in character. I'll raise this wee dram and say thank you to Jimmy Legg. And actually, as Jetly has bought me a wee dram just to say thanks, Roy. Actually, thank you so much, actually, over in France as well. So there we have it. They're agonising in the background. They're trying to do their final matchup. There's another 5 points at stake here, and that's I guess that's all. It's their scoring from is the best out of 10. 5 challenges, 5 semi-blind matchups. They know what the drams are. They're running semi-blind. Then they've only got to match what's in the glass with the final bottle, and we'll do a reveal in a wee minute. They don't have that information in their hands. Usually the blind challenge has a final envelope with the colours in. They don't need it tonight because they're doing it live. That is the problem with the packs that I've packed for people that are going to be doing it on the catch-up, but it's here for posterity's sake so they can come in and see what the actual result is. Check your WhatsApp, Vin is saying. Vin is very good, very good. Superb. So what Vin has done is he's sent me photos because he's not involved in a live. So that's the integrity of the guy. He's sending me photos so that it's locking him in as well. Listen, I appreciate that you do that, Vin. You don't need to do it. I know that whatever score that you tendered in at the end would be absolutely the score. Such a great guy. Thank you very much. Well, he says very good, but very wrong. Lol. Let's see. Let's see. See, the poker face I'm worried about now. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not sure how you've done, buddy. I'm not sure how you've done. Wait and see. We'll do some scoring at the end. Let's see if I'll ask for a thumbs up from Michael if he's got a question to give away this prize here. Did you manage to come up with something? He has. He's got something.
We'll see.
Okay. Sorry to distract you away from your semi-blind matchup there. But I think we've got there's a pack. There's one of these that I'm going to give away to patrons as well. There's one that's already locked away for them. This is a public one that I'll give away. As long as I know who you are, as long as I can legally ship alcohol to you and everything's above board, I'll ship this to you. So only enter if that's possible. If we can enter a dialogue to work out how to get it to you afterwards. But you just answer in the chat. Michael's going to ask a question and you'll get it sent to you. Michael, let me just distract you a wee bit and ask you how you're getting on with the blind matchup.
I've got them done, but I think when I did them, I've realised I've got some of the challenges wrong.
That's the inevitable thing, right?
I spiked 2 in the challenges.
If you commit to the semi-blind, you're realising that what you're actually doing is undoing some of the challenges that you've already locked in. That's why we do it like that. That's why it's agonising. But honestly, this is the hard part because I know that I do this often as well, and you're going, oh no, I wish I'd. But it is meant to just be fun. There's going to be no judgment laid here. Tell me, what's your question, my friend?
It's okay with a question on Irish whiskey.
Absolutely, anything goes. Absolutely. From an Irishman, I would expect nothing else.
Okay, so it's my home distillery. So Bushmills have released a couple of limited releases lately, and as part of the Causeway collection.
Right.
One was a 1995. So my question is, it was matured in 2 types of cask. What was the second cask?
What was the second cask?
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is one is obvious then, and the other one is a special cask. Is that the point?
Yeah. So,
okay, so are we speaking?
Finish. So what was the second maturation cask?
What was the second maturation cask? Okay.
Seen the right answer.
Have you now? Is it Graham Fraser?
No. Tabitha Mills has it right. I don't know if she was first.
Oops. Let's scroll up. So what is the right one? I'm looking for Malaga.
Yeah, so it was Malaga.
Malaga, is that sherry then?
I don't think it can be classed as sherry because it's outside Jerez.
Well, I've got the first one is Jonathan Flowers on my screen. Tabitha Mills does definitely say Malaga, but Jonathan Flowers and Whiskey Jason in Germany both answered in advance. But it looks like, and I'm going to take a wee screenshot here just to keep everything above board as well, just to see that my friend Jonathan Flowers, it looks like he's picked himself up this blind challenge. Superb. Congratulations, Jonathan. Unless any of my mods can spot anybody that said Malaga earlier, it looks to me on my side. The Alchemist Sevi is jumping in and saying Jonathan Flowers, as is Che Francis, and Mclaughlin Fine and Rare the Doc, who is a moderator, has also said Jonathan Flowers. It's clear that Jonathan in the States has picked himself up a blind challenge. Jonathan, you let me know if you've got any plans of travelling to Scotland next year. Otherwise, we employ the Mule Network to get this set out to you in the States, my friend. But congratulations, well done. Thanks for the question, Michael. Have you got your wee dots locked in?
Yep, I've got them.
Okay, I've had a wee look. Okay, I'll bring in everybody and I'll do the reveal. Okay, let's bring in Dave is away. He's AFK right now. Let's bring in Karen. Let's bring in Alan. Let's bring in Sevi. Let's bring in Neil and hope that his Wi-Fi is working out. Right, let's work out whose audio it is that's causing the. I wonder. Sevi's no. I think Sevi's is only a problem when that mic is rubbing up against his beard or his zip. It's not Neil's. Could be maybe Karen. I don't know if it's Karen. It doesn't matter. We'll make it work as long as people can hear me. Okay, I'm waiting on Dave. There's Dave appearing back in the shot right now. There he is. Right, guys, fantastic.
Yep, I'm here.
Give me a thumbs up if there's confidence here. Okay, I have already revealed.
I've definitely got these all right.
Right, excellent, superb. I have the key here, and I don't know how best to do this. I'm just going to go through them one at a time and get your reactions. Okay. One of our budget drams. Our 2 budget drams tonight are actually the Anne Sherry Casket, around about £50 or thereabouts, and also Glenfarclas 105. And I can tell you that those were black and brown.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm not going to say. I have to tell you that. Is there anybody surprised by that? Is there anybody, because the black has done, if I look at the black here, and I'm going to try and do a screen share actually. If I do this, you can see this as well for the first time. and I'll show you how these things are done in a second. And we have two Aberlour-Abunas, and I'll tell you that the two Aberlour-Abunas are pink and purple. Oh no! And amazingly, it's not amazing. I think it's good that this has happened. But one of the most exclusive, most sought after sherry releases is Glengoyne's Teapot Dram, and that is silver. Alan's chuffed. He's nailed it. So is Sevy. So let's try and do a wee screen share here. I don't know if this will work. You can all see that, right? So this is for the first time that you're seeing this, and you can see that the silver has done very, very well. And the silver is Glengoyne's Teapot Dram. How many got that? Alan and Sevy? Only Alan Sevy? So this is a product that used to be, I don't know how much it was when it first came out, but batch 5, batch 6 was about the £90 mark. Batch 7 came out, there was some 14-year-old stock in there, jumped up to 120, and I suddenly became a lot more precious about it. But you can see it's performed very, very well against some stellar competition. Look at how well that black has done. Did anybody guess black is Arran sherry cask? This is Michael got it. Michael got the Arran. Well done. Look how well that has done for a product that is £50. Now,
That's
Vin
a bargain.
Yeah, absolutely. That held its own. And you can see Davis saying it's a bargain. He put it in second place. I put it mid-ground. So Michael. Neil Allen and Vin put it towards the end of the table, but Willie Dwyer, Dave Cranton, Karen, and Sevy put it. Sevy and Willie picked out that as their favourite. Sevy, you've got to be happy about that. Incredible.
That was an absolutely stellar dram. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm really shocked. It's malty. It's lemon, citrus, beautiful, lovely.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I'm so glad that there's plenty of out there, and you can pick it up at reasonable money. Look at the pink dots. Kind of spread all over the place, but 3 of us picked out the pink as their favourite. And I was looking at Michael here because there was a couple that he was struggling with. Michael, can you reveal now the one that you were struggling with?
What's the
which colour?
Pink I didn't like, or sorry, which
the one that you thought was purple, which is so what you've put at the back there is both Aberlours. So your second last is my favourite, and I think the reason for that is that really this is the only dram that we had in the lineup tonight, and bear in mind that all of these whiskies are fairly young, bold whiskies. There's not anything here that's heavily matured, certainly nothing more than some 40-year-old in a teapot dram, maybe. The Glenfarclas 105 is a 10-year-old. But when this Aberlour-Abuna, this batch 16 would have been bottled, it still would have been fairly young, potentially single-digit, maybe around 10-year-old whiskey. But for me, there's a whiff of dunnage in here. There's an old whiskey smell to this glass. This pink glass.
Ketchup in that one.
Ketchup?
Yeah, there's a tainted note in ketchup I get in that particular dram.
So maybe a bit of vinegar, which is a faint. Is that what you picked up, Michael? Something a bit vinegary?
Is this the pink?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pink. That's the first thing I put was acidic, vinegary. Was
yeah, that's the one I picked out as a slight story note.
A wee bit balsamic, maybe even. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I got a treacly note on it.
A what? Sorry, Michael.
Treacle.
Treacly note.
Karen, was that the finish? Was that the one really long finish that you liked?
It was that one, and also the black.
Black.
Because I mean, it does have a long finish, without a doubt. It goes on and on and on. But I got put off by this early note, which is what I call the ketchup note. It's interesting because I can totally get your finish idea.
Yeah.
I'm getting.
So sorry, right? Did you? We are talking about the pink. Is that right?
Yes, we are talking about the pink. Pink is Aberlour batch.
Yeah.
Batch 16. Yep. Which you would have.
Wow, I also got burning hair from it as well.
Oh wow! Did you put it quite far down then, Sevi? Let's have a look at Sevi. Where did?
Yeah, I think mine was second last. I think.
Now, Glenfarclas 105.
Yeah, so
you would kind of expect that to be towards the low because it's not really in the same league as the others. There's ex-bourbon in here. It's a marriage of sherry and ex-bourbon. And this was a budget dram tonight, but a couple of you, Vin and Michael Henry. Michael, you liked that, and that's maybe because you've gone to some of the American bourbon stuff, right?
Probably I like Glenfarclas. I have a couple of bottles.
Yep.
Here, so I think. So what colour was it? Glenfarclas.
You put it second.
Right.
And that was the one that I put in last place. And every time I put another oops, I'm getting the echo back again. I'm still trying to work out whose that is. Is it?
I thought it was really there's intensity in the nose and like a long finish on it. So it really kind of stood out for me.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. I think it's the cleanest whiskey that's here as well. Interestingly. If that makes any sense, it's a very sweet fruit that's going on. It's probably the least spiced of the lineup. That's the one as I was adding water as we went along. It was to me it was coming better and better and better. Okay, it's time that we reveal. Unless Sevi, I think I cut you off a wee bit there. Were you going to say something?
Well, I was just saying, I found brown quite harsh. I just genuinely, that was why it was kind of so far down for me. I never had the Glenfarclas 105 to be fair, but I found quite harsh, but I've made an absolute pig's ear of the rest of them, apart from the 105 in the teapot. So either end of the spectrum.
Listen, that's absolutely fine. So I don't know, what do you want me to do? Do you want me just to tally up the scores of the team, or do you just want to just kind of split it out? How do you want to do it? I don't care if anybody doesn't want to disclose a score. That's absolutely fine with me. How did we get on? Give me a thumb if you're willing to share your score.
Trill's still trying to work it out.
Okay.
Yes, so I actually.
I'll give you a wee minute then. Simon Ray, say thanks for another fascinating blind.
So what?
All the barflies. Take care and see you at the next vPub. Thank you very much, Simon. Sorry, go ahead, Sebi.
Sorry, what colour was the Buna 62?
The Band 62 was purple.
Oh, hello. That's good. There's another point.
Good. Jimmy is asking, what are you doing with the batch 16 anyway, Roy? And Luna Aaron is saying your guesses are sadly almost impossible to understand. I'm hearing them quite clearly, Luna. I apologise if it's a wee bit trickier at your side. I never went to Aquaviti. I scored the colours based upon first 5 points. Okay. Grey 1, 38 points. Black 29. Okay, this is interesting. So Doc is scoring in the background as well. And he's saying silver got 38, black 29, pink 27, purple 23, and brown 18. That's interesting. So Teapot clearly is the strong winner tonight, which is interesting. And pink, the batch 16, the old Aberlour comes middle of the field. That Aaron Bodica cask is done brilliantly. That sherry cask Aaron has done brilliantly well. Superb stuff. And Glenfarclas in 5th place, and the older Aberlour, the newer Aberlour in 4th. Okay, you up for sharing a point? That's the whiskies laid bare. That's their points been declared, and the Doc's done a good, cool little thing there of us 5 points to the winner and 1 point to the last in order to come up with that. Jean-Paul Vanderhoef has bought me a dram saying, enjoyed it. I'm off to bed. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, Jean-Paul, as well. How are the scores going, guys? Good. Okay, Michael Henry as the non-beard squad.
I got 5 out of 10.
Passmark, superb, 5. Karen,
I didn't do so good. I got 2 out of 10. So I got the Glenfarclas 105, and the rest I just made a big zero.
wow, but they're so close. They're so close to each other. What the takeaway is that if you want to throw your money away on a sherry bomb, the Aaron has to be a strong contender, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm looking for the next bearded participant, Neil Cochrane. How did you get on?
6, Roy. The first round, I was reasonably confident. The second round, I actually changed my answer round just in case I was wrong in the first section.
Right.
Looked at a wee, I think. So 3 out of 5 in both, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 is a tremendous score, Neil. And that puts your team on 13 points. Magnificent. Magnificent. Beards, what can we do? Let's start at the Grimace down at the bottom. Dave Crichton, how are you getting on?
I got 3 total.
3, still not bad. Still not bad. Alan,
I got 4 out of 10.
still very
The really
good.
frustrating thing is I did the opposite of Neil. After writing them down, had a gut feeling that I'd got 2 the wrong way around, and if I'd put them the other way around, it would have been 8 out of 10. But I start with my guns. And
Wow. Benefit of hindsight, right?
yeah,
And finally, Sevi, just a match. You need 6 points. How are you doing, big guy?
Well, see, there's going to be this is going to be controversial. It's going to be like VAR here because I put in the chat before that I had actually put the wrong dots the wrong way round on the original challenge Abunas. So I was putting the purple for the 2018 because I thought it was but I mixed them up because I was thinking 2018 was actually the oldest, but it's not. It's obviously the youngest. So, the most recent. But I'm willing to take, as I said, you can check back in the chat. But if I'm allowed that, as I said before,
Shall we mute Sevi while he's giving us his explanation? There we go. Right. What is it? What's the score, buddy? What's the damage?
So I've got 6 out of 10.
6. That works out superb. So that makes it that the beards are 13 points and the non-beards are 13 points. And with that has to be the best possible way we could end that thing. Superb. 6 points brings up. So that means that Sevi and Neil and they're just for pure fun, they score the most points. But I think the takeaway tonight, honestly, the takeaway for me is that Aberlour Abuna suggests that if you look across all of it, there's not much difference, honestly. Maybe the pink, the older one, shades it a wee bit. The teapot dram could theoretically command its higher price. Maybe not twice the price of that Arran, right? Because it's fully twice the price of the Arran. And I know that we've put it ahead of
it's
that.
much more sophisticated.
Would you pay double the price then, Dave? Yes. I think you've already bought one, yeah.
As well.
Yes.
I might well stretch for that teapot, actually, to be honest.
Well, that's interesting.
Hey, Dave, I'm with you, buddy. The fact was, I was very. I don't want to say disappointed is maybe not the right word. I took the hump. It's probably a great way to say it in the kind of Glaswegian terms. I took the hump at the price rise, but at the same time, having kind of tasted it properly tonight in this lineup, I think go a long way to beat that Arran Sherry Cask blind for the price. But I definitely agree with you with the fact that teapot drum is worth 120 quid. I'm now beginning to think I would probably agree with you and stretch to that 120 quid because it is a diamond dram. It really is. It's good.
That's interesting, and I have to say, I don't know if Gordon Dundas is watching tonight, but he would occasionally tune in, and he's had to hear me bashing his ears about the price of the teapot in the past. But I think he'd take a bit of pride in seeing how it's performed tonight. If anybody's tuning in from Aaron, that's an amazing performance. I think from that Aaron sherry cask, it's done very, very well among this admittedly small sample, but we're comparing these back to front, left to right in contrast. We're picking it out. The only one person, Vin, didn't go on with the Aaron sherry cask, but the rest of them, Sevi, Billy, put it first, Karen and Dave put it in second place, and myself and Michael Henry put it in third place, which for one of the budget offerings tonight is done very, very well. Very, very interesting. And I have to say that don't let anybody say anything bad about that Glen Farquhars 105 that's sitting in fifth place for me and for quite a few others. Michael Henry's put it in second as well as Vin. That makes sense because Vin doesn't love sherry cask maturation, and I think that Michael is admitted that he's the same, so it makes sense that would come close to the top. But as I put water in this and the night's gone on, this is the one that I am really, really enjoying, and this I think it could sneak up the order a wee bit. This Glen Farquhars.
Roy,
so even the whiskey.
When did you buy it?
When did I buy it?
Yeah, recent Glen Farquhars 105.
Oh no, it's the 10-year-old age statement. I've had it for 5 years. I've had it for about 5 years now. It's
quite difficult trying to get hold of.
Did they not do a 40-year-old 105 as well at one point?
They've done a 20-year-old. They've done a 20-year-old and managed to get it at 60% ABV, and they've managed to release a 40-year-old at 60% ABV as well. So yeah, they're not filling it 63.5, right? So, but fascinating stuff. I think that hopefully the takeaway from this is that these sherry bombs are affordable, and if you do have to pay a wee bit more, the chances are that you are getting a wee bit more refinement, a wee bit slightly. I mean, these are very, very similar profile drams tonight, but there's enough to pick out some differences between them and get our preferences too. Fascinating stuff. Thank you all very, very much for participating. There will be a quiz tonight. I know we've gone late, but that's surprise. It's the vPub, right? Anybody want to play a game of a space side? Michael, I think you were interested. You had a bottle in hand that you were up for me trying to guess.
I have a bottle here if you want to go for it.
Well, I think we can. What I have to do then is just if you grab it, but don't bring it up on screen. I don't want to see what it is. And I will attempt to a screen share. There we go. And this will be a wee countdown window. For a game of Visit Speyside. Is anybody else interested in this? We might be able to squeeze in 2 games. This is just so the people in the chat can play along as well. Sevi, was that a yes?
Yeah, I'll play, buddy. I'll go and see if I can find something in the cupboard. If not, I'll have to play the other way around. But I'll go and see if I can find something in the cupboard just now.
Okay, it's up to you, buddy. I don't mind which way you play it. Okay, Michael, you have a bot on hand, and I've got 3 minutes and 10 questions. Try and guess what it is. Let's see if you have been sneaky or not. Let's put up the timer here as well. 3 minutes. Starting now. Michael, I'm just going to come right out with it and ask you, my friend, is it a Speyside?
I need to check.
Oh, we're off to a bad start. You have to know. Let anybody that's in the chat right now, they can play along. Remember that you're playing for one of these sniper coins. The only way you can get these is to win in the chat or to come on and actually play it live. Sniper coin, acrylic glass topper. It sits on top of your dram like this. Michael, how are you getting on? Is it a Speyside?
Yes.
This is a tactic he's using to run out my time, pretending he doesn't know. Okay. Does it have an age statement?
Yes.
Is Is it below 46% ABV?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Is it owned by one of the big four, the big four being Edrington, Diageo, Pernod Ricard, or Gantz?
No, it isn't.
Ooh. Is it Glenfarclas?
Yes, it is.
You gave me a hint. You said you liked Glenfarclas. Superb. Is it okay? I'm just going to be shooting. Is it 12 years old or less?
Yes, it is.
Is it Glenfarclas 10? Ah, beauty, beauty, beauty. You know, the reason that that's quite excellent is that I think a lot of people wouldn't bring Glenfarclas 10 because it's often very overlooked. I think it's an excellent dram. I'm very glad you're enjoying it. I think the 10-year-old is 40% as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it is 40%. So that's kind of what made me go for it.
Yeah, yeah.
You see Glenfarclas at 40, so I wanted to see how it was holding up.
Excellent. I have to say, I recall about 2011, 2012. My first ever bottle of Glenfarclas was a Glenfarclas 10-year-old. And I remember my first ever sip from the bottle. I loved it, loved it, loved it. It was a beautiful, creamy space cider. I'm still chasing that same sip, that same epiphany moment in bottles of Glenfarclas ever since. So there you go. Whoever said Glenfarclas 10, could I have beaten the chat tonight? I doubt it. I doubt it. Whoever, let's look to see who won it. Glenfarclas 10 said Martin got it. I don't know who got it. Oops, I got it well ahead there, didn't I? Okay, Sevi, did you grab a bottle or are you asking me?
I did. I grabbed the bottle. However, I'm a wee bit worried. It's got core range, obviously. Now, I'm fairly certain that this is core range, so I might end up having egg and face here. If it's not, then I'll let me send a dram to somebody else. But I'm fairly certain this is core range.
Okay, let's play it through and let's see if I'm going to shoot it in a wee minute. Okay, 3 minutes on the clock, and I'm guessing again. Will. Okay, buddy. Is it a space side?
Yes. No.
Is it a space side, you're saying?
No, it's not.
It's not a space side. Okay, it's not.
Can you hear me?
Is
it's
it a
not
Highland?
a space side, no.
Is it Highland?
No.
Oops. Is it Campbelltown?
Yes.
Is it from Springbank Distillery?
Yes.
Does it have any peat in it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I can remember, no, but
Okay. Is it a Springbank?
I don't think so, no.
Is it a Springbank?
Yes. Yes, it is, yes.
Okay, so the core range of Springbank is 10-year, 12-year cask-strength, 15-year, 18-year, 21, special occasional release, and 25 occasional release. You do lots of other things as well under the Springbank name. Is it one of lots of the other things? That's what.
It's one of the ones that you've mentioned.
All right, okay. Is it 15 years or less?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Is it Springbank 15?
No.
Is it 12 cask strength?
Yes. Congratulations, Roy. You are correct.
See, I should have known. I should have been like Sevi. If
This,
bring back cask-strength, of course it is. No, that counts as core range. Yes, they only release it twice a year, but it's an absolute rock solid core range product. It's been going on for years now, and it's a fabulous whiskey as well. Not one that you would recommend easily to everybody, but one that actually could arguably be a magical whiskey, a magical Christmas fireside-dram as well. Listen, thanks to everybody for participating tonight. I'm going to spend a couple of times, especially this year's. I've yet to try it. I've got it, but it's not open yet. I've got too many.
This year's
cask-strength's open.
There you go.
If you want to hang out with me there, I'm forgetting to cancel that again. If you want to hang out with me to play the quiz, you're all very welcome. Everybody can hang around to play the quiz. Spend a couple of minutes speaking to the chat to the barflies, and I'll pull in for the quiz at the end. If any of you are tired or up early in the morning and you need to take your leave, absolutely don't worry about it. I'm very, very grateful that you've stayed till this time. But please, if you're comfortable and you want to finish those wonderful sherry whiskies that are in front of you, please stay for the quiz at the end, my friends. Neil, thank you so much. Thank you for getting your tech to work as well. Thank you for participating, especially at such short notice. You're a superstar. Sevi the Alchemist, you're always here, big guy. You're always there to help me out for anything I need. Sometimes you go above and beyond, and you've done it again today as well. You've actually scored very well and managed to save it for the Beardies night. Well done, Sevi. Hang around to the end if you can, my friend, won't you? Who's Alan, my friend? Thank you so much. Thanks for letting me drop off those drams earlier today. Thanks for being a star, stepping in at the end, and I hope you had some fun sipping the sherry casks whiskies, buddy. Drop in for the quiz at the end if you want to play along. Dave, my friend, if you want to stay along, I'd be welcome you to stay. Are you staying here? Are you on a curfew?
Yeah. No, I'm not in any hurry.
Superb. We'll get some competition going with the quiz at the end as well. Karen, absolutely wonderful to have you in. Thanks for brightening it up a wee bit, and thank you so much for doing it. As soon as I said, Scott's not going to make it this year again, you're like, yeah, absolutely. Wonderful to have you, Karen. Thanks so much. Are you staying till the end?
Absolutely. I'm going to see if I can pass.
Fantastic. And Michael, thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating and being such a good sport as well, and bringing all the insight that you have. I think it's always wonderfully encouraging for us, for me, that there's some people out there in the industry that enjoy picking up the content from time to time as well. It's great to have you here as a barfly. It's great to have you participating in the blind, my friend. Are you working tomorrow? Are you able to stay for the quiz?
For the year, so I've just poured myself another Glen Farquhars, so I'll stick around for the quiz.
In that case, you're here for the quiz. Michael, thank you so much. I'll pull you back in a wee minute. Wonderful stuff. Superb. So I didn't see who'd won the 2 sniper coins there. I didn't catch it. I'm going to try and scroll up to see and say who. I'll try and get these shipped out as soon as I can. But of course, because of the mess that's going on with shipping right now, it might take you a wee while to get them. But whoever's picked up the sniper coins tonight, congratulations and very well done. Like I say, there is going to be one of these packs that I share with patrons. But this one has gone out to Jonathan Flowers, it looks like, in the States. Congratulations again, Jonathan. And I thought that was good fun. I think the biggest takeaway from it is that Teapot Dram might actually be worth its money. Aaron's sherry cask is definitely worth its money. And maybe there is an argument that some of the older Aberlour Arabunas had a wee bit more interest than the modern ones. But really, we're only comparing one batch cask 16 from history versus one modern batch 62. So it's really hardly scientific. And also, I think that the Glen Farquhars 105 for a £45 spice bomb cask-strength whiskey that has been great value since it was first released 50 years ago is still able to bring it and still able to compete. And in fact, you can see from Michael Henry and from Vin up there in their top 2. Quite amazing things. I hope whatever you're sipping on Christmas Day has as much power and engagement and impact as these do. Richard Hall is saying, my threads shows I sniped the sniper. Richard, I hope you have. Good for you if you have, my friend. And Stu Baby, you know what? Since it's Christmas, I'll look out for the top 2 or 3 who answered tonight, and they try and send out a few extra sniper coins just since it's Christmas. I'll make a wee note of that as well and mention Richard Hall just to double check Congratulations, buddy, if you managed to snag yourself that. Dancer Midgie Glenn is saying, I've had 4 bottles of T.7 and sent samples out to several people. Enjoyed every one of them, and every one of them enjoyed it. Excellence is never cheap. Sid Martin is saying, I think I got the Farquhars one, my first one from the chat. Well done, Sid. Jimmy Legg is saying, I've been smiling and laughing now for 2 hours. My face hurts. Cresimir is saying, I was first to guess Sevy Springbank, but send it to Bruno Martins. So the Sniper King got a Springbank 12 cask-strength again. So that's you and maybe 14 or 15. I struggle to even keep count. Cresimir, well done. Actually, is saying Nika from the barrel, not a bad shout. Aye, that's a decent dram. 54%, 54.1 or something like that as well. Wildly inconsistent. Not wildly, that's not fair. Don't expect consistencies in Nika from the barrel. It's exactly designed to be that kind of product. If you like bourbon or bourbon flavour whiskies, and I don't mean bourbon cask, I'm talking about specifically virgin oak flavours and things like that, Nika from the barrel leans close to that profile. Still one that I've enjoyed in the past. Spiritworks Tom is here. Tom, so good to see you. Evening, Roy. Just made it in time for the quiz. Good man. Pull up a bar stool, get yourself comfortable and play along. 51.4, I think I got the numbers around the wrong way, actually. Thank you very much. I said 54.1, didn't I? Yeah, let's get the quiz underway. Let's pull my fantastic patient guests back in. And I'll pull up the quiz. I might hear this again, so I'm going to try and work out who that's coming from. Stop me, I don't think. Okay. Dave, Karen, they've all muted. Well, that's what to do. You're able to unmute yourself from your side. It's gone much quieter now. It's much nicer. It's much more pleasant on the ears. So unmute yourself. Obviously, if you have to come in to contribute, and we'll do Zoom protocol. Give me a thumbs up if you're all ready. You might notice a theme tonight. It might not surprise anybody what the theme of the quiz is tonight. And I really have tried my hardest for everyone that's in, still 180 odd of you in to play the quiz at the end. It's wonderful to have the support. Thank you all so much. Is that I've tried to make it a wee bit easier. Let's say the front 9. The first half is a wee bit easier. Listen, everybody's just play against yourselves. You're keeping your own score. You don't need to disclose your scores unless you want to. Best of luck for everybody. It says multiple choice. I hope you have fun playing along. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Question 1. Kilhoma have released a special limited edition cask-strength Mclaughlin Bay featuring which animals in Santa hats? I'm talking about on the packaging, of course. Is it A, sheep, B, reindeer, or C, Highland cows? What does Kilhoma have? And I actually bought a bottle of this at Good Spirits Company again in Glasgow today, and I picked up some Christmas gifts, and I bought a bottle of this. As a gift, this was not for me. This is going to go to a friend of mine, who I'm sure is going to love it. Mclaughlin Bay. I'm
taking deliveries, Roy.
Huh?
I'm taking deliveries. I haven't received that.
It wasn't so expensive. It was £50. Not bad for cask-strength Isla whiskey. Obviously, Mclaughlin Bay is always non-age statement, but it's usually a pretty good dram, and I was very curious about it. And this friend that I'm giving it to, I'm pretty confident that I'm going to get a decent share back of it as well. James McGorry saying he forgot he was watching live and could actually type in his answer. James, it's nice to welcome you in, my friend. James is over in Sweden. What would you guess, guys? Alan, if you've got a wee piece of paper like Alan, that's a good way to do it. Sevy's guessing A for sheep. That's too wee for me to read, Dave. My goodness, these old eyes. Neil Cochran, I'd be struggling to read yours as well. Just hold up your piece of paper if it's anything different than sheep. Everybody thinks it's sheep, of course, and I can try and hold this up. This is the bottle here. It might focus in for you to see a couple of wee woolly sheep. Absolutely. So if you answered A, give yourself a point. We see sheep wearing Santa hats. Cheap sheep, says Mclaughlin from Rare Doc. Question 2. Glenfiddich, famously first distilled on Christmas Day. But which year? Glenfiddich's first ever distillation run. Was it on Christmas Day in 1824, 1849, or 1887? A, 1824, B, 1849, or C, 1887, Glenfiddich. I've got a lot of whiskey in front of me. Cask-strength whiskey at that, but there is no children at school tomorrow. I'm not getting up to run anyone anywhere in the morning. I'm hoping I might even be able to sneak a wee extra half hour or so in bed. You just never know. Okay, we've got some, hold up your answers if you can, if you've got a nice, I can see that nice and clearly now, Dave. Thank you very much. Oh, no, it's not Dave. I can't even tell who's in second place there. Oh, Karen, nice, I like it. Show me how you're going to do a B. Okay. Okay. So everybody seems to think C for this, and indeed Glenfiddich is absolutely 1887, Christmas Day. Question 3, Douglas Lang has released its 10th Christmas edition of which remarkable regional malt? 10 of them now. A, Big Pete at Christmas, B, Scallywag Red-Nosed Reindeer edition, or C, Rock Island Jingle Bells edition. I told you I was going to try and pitch it a wee bit easy tonight. There's got to be loads and loads of folk already chuckling as they get 3 out of 3 this evening. This Aaron. No, that wasn't the Aaron. That's the teapot. Wow. Guys, just use your fingers, use your pieces of paper. Are you agreeing with the chat? Oh, it's an easy quiz tonight. Isn't it an easy question tonight? Absolutely. Big Pete at Christmas is 10 years old in 2020. Loved, people queue up for it every year.
Come on, the beards.
Come on, the beards. Absolutely superb. Question 4. The Whisky Exchange offered an innovative, personalised gift idea. What is it? Now, unfortunately, I discovered this a wee bit too late. I think it would have been cool. Was it A, personalised peat, blended malt? Was it B, cracking Christmas whiskey crackers? Or C, stenciled oak coaster sets? Which of those innovative new things has been offered by the Whisky Exchange on the run up to Christmas? Personalised peat, blended malt, cracking Christmas whiskey crackers, or stenciled oak coaster sets? I have to say, this is maybe a wee bit of a banana skin. This is maybe going to draw the peanut chucking from the crowd. Does anybody know this? Neil looks confident. Neil looks confident. B for Christmas crackers. Sevi says A for personalised peat. B from Alan. A from Karen, is that? A from Dave and A from Michael. And I can tell you that a lot of them are correct with the personalised peat. This is part of Elements of Isla, offered 50 CL bottles with blank labels that you could write in your own message and get a stamp on there as well, whether it was going to be Happy Christmas, or you can see there some examples of Happy Father's Day, Pure Isla, etc., etc. Quite a clever wee thing. I thought a nice wee thing. Multi-Haggis Muncher is raging. No, I think he's probably gone for the Christmas crackers. I don't think anybody went for the stenciled oak coasters. But there you go. That was the innovative idea from the Whisky Exchange. Halfway point. This is a particularly bitterly cold looking picture. The colour cast on this adds to the really, it looks freezing, doesn't it? But obviously I'm going to ask you, what distillery are we looking at? And I think I'm being kind here. A, Glenfiddich, B, Strathyla, or C, Glenord. Maybe not that kind, given that all of the distilleries that I've mentioned there have twin pagodas.
It's a beautiful photo.
It is, isn't it? But it does look pretty freezing, Dave, doesn't it?
Hang on. Okay.
I usually put a picture credit up. I've forgotten to do that this week. I don't know why. This is from Pinterest. This is a Pinterest picture for Strathyla. If you search for Strathyla on Pinterest, this is one of the pictures that comes up. I think it is pretty fabulous. B for
Wee
Stratila.
avalanche on the building on the left.
Sorry, Dave?
There's a wee avalanche on the building on the left. That's absolutely the right angle for an avalanche.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's really cool, yeah. Halfway point, anybody on 5 out of 5 so far? How you guys doing? Any of you on 5 out of 5?
God, no.
Sevi? Oh, Neil's on 4 by the looks of it.
For
Oh,
the
Karen's
first
on
time,
5.
I'm 5 out of 5.
Wow, you're flying, absolutely flying. Actually's on 5 out of 5 as well. Lots and lots of people on 4 out of 5. I imagine it was that Whiskey Exchange one that slipped up a lot of people. No, not so many on 5 out of 5. Karen, you're in good shape. Let's see how the back 9 goes for you. Question 6. In 2019's Xmas Blind, Christmas Blind, both whiskey reviewers picked which dram as their favourite? This is one for the vPub loyal, I guess, that they would have to know. There was quite a surprise in last year's, a year ago. But we're talking about Whiskey Geek Ben and the editor remote review Jason. They both picked one of these as their favourite. A, was it Tomatin Legacy? B, was it Deanston Virgin Oak? Or C, Glen Scotia Double Cask?
Sorry, there was vPub before I joined.
Yes, there's a back catalogue for you to discover should you find yourself in lockdown once more, Dave.
Oh, look, it's going to happen.
I'm laughing, but unfortunately, I think you're right.
Okay, what's the crowd? The crowd's completely disagreeing with me. Oh dear.
You just
What
raised
have
the
you
bar,
said,
Dave.
Dave?
That's what it was.
Yeah. What have you said, Dave? C?
Yeah.
You think it's Glen Scotia's Double Cask? All 3 of these non-age statement whiskies are non-age statement whiskies that I particularly enjoy. I think they're all very good in their own right. But the one won the blind shootout for 2 whiskey reviewers up against amazing other whiskies was A, the Tomatin Legacy. Sorry, Dave. Non-age statement from Tomatin that they both loved. I like the Legacy more than the 12-year-old, says James Mclaughlin. It does very well, and you can often get it at a decent price as well, 43% ADV, a nice wee non-age statement whiskey.
And that was the video where I first met you all, where I introduced myself to the community, and that's why it stuck out. It was until you released the 3 that were there, that's when it came to me.
So you got that one right.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to have you, Alan. Glad you've stuck out for the last year, buddy. Question 7. Which Highland distillery released 2,500 bottles of a 1967 Christmas Day edition, bottled in 1992? Specifically, this was whiskey that was distilled on Christmas Day of 1967, bottled in 1992, sought after bottling now. Which Highland distillery released this bottling? A, Annoch, B, Glenmurray, C, Glengoyne.
I think there's an obvious answer here, Roy, but I'm afraid of that banana skin logo there that I'm not entirely sure that I should go for it.
It's a reverse banana skin because it's Christmas, Sevi.
Oh no!
Go for it.
Well, I'll go for the one that.
Trust yourself. Trust
Is this
yourself.
like me saying? Is this like me saying that I'm not sure if the Springbank 12 cask-strength's a core range?
That's right. What are you answering? A C. A C. You think it's Glengoyne? Absolutely, the lounge. Everybody, with very few exceptions. Annoch is not a distillery. Annoch is a brand. Knockdo is the distillery. So it's not A. B. Glenmurray is actually in Speyside, although they could put Highland on the label if they so wanted, as Glenmurray is a Speyside distillery, and I would refer to it as such. So obviously, by a process of elimination, Glengoyne released the Christmas Day edition. Look at it here. I think you would have to pay, it'd be a 4-figure sum to grab a hold of this now. I don't know if it was Christmas Day that made it so special, or just the fact it's 1960s distillate would have been quite an interesting thing to try. Question 8. Here come the asshats, okay? Strap in, because from here until the finish line, you might find yourself struggling to get a hold of, or keep hold of your good scores. Whiskey Advocate's top 10 of 2020 features 4 scotches, of which 3 of them are what? A, no longer available, B, from the same distillery, or C, peated. Now, I don't know how much of our community pay attention to Whiskey Advocate's top whatever list, but with the demise of scotchwhiskey.com, which I think is still a loss. I know that they didn't offer any kind of real. I love the articles from the likes of Dave Broom. I love the insight, the editorial things. But there isn't another site that's come along and been that kind of collective place for all these kind of new releases and news. And it was a wonderful resource and asset, and I do dearly miss it. Whiskey Advocate is not bad, American focused, but it doesn't bring what scotchwhiskey.com used to bring. But this is an ASAC question, 4 of their top 10 are Scotches, and 3 of them are C, peated. Sevi is cheering. He's a happy bunny.
Yes.
That's a yes. Neil is also cheering. The rest of the crowd is a wee bit quiet. It seems I could see that so many of you in the lounge picked C as well. Just from curiosity, it was the new Benriach, the Smoky 12, Peat Monster, and interestingly, I think it was placed number 5 or 6, Ardbeg's Wee Beastie, which I thought was a very odd choice. Like I say, I like that Ardbeg Beastie's out there with a 5-year age statement. I think it's great. Wasn't the best whiskey, but it's not out there. It's not asking ridiculous prices. Mclaughlin Fine Rare saying that Glengoyne 1967 is currently offered on Whiskey Base for €1,299. I am not that interested, Doc. I would love to try it, but I'm not that interested. Question 9. Which of these is listed as Scotland's smallest distillery by capacity? This is just in there as a Christmas gift to Jimmy Legg. A capacity question has to be in there. But which of these is Scotland's smallest distillery? A, Avanjarek, B, Dornoch, or C, Strathearn? Can also say that it's been consistently the smallest for quite a number of years now. Daniel Williams is saying that Wee Beastie is great. I can see it appealing to people who really like even dry, grassy, but also bringing lots of that Ardbeg ash and soot. I'm quite glad to have it. Honestly, I think it's decent. You remember I did a vPub a while back to place it up against its competitors with a blind challenge as well involved. It was good fun. C, Strathearn. B, Carden says for Dornoch. Who's B, guess from Sevi. Neil, what are you thinking? Anybody? C, Strathearn. Wow. At 20,000 litres, Avanjarek has been Scotland's smallest distillery for at least 5 or 6 years. Out in Lewis, I haven't seen much from Avanjarek recently at all. I think Marco is the guy that's out there, Marco Taylor or Taburn or something. I know they're doing single cask and things like that.
Just when you get off the ferry.
Sorry?
Really modern buildings right in front of the ferry.
No, Avanjarek is like a tin farm shed out on hills somewhere. It's really, really small. It's really, really quite ramshackle. Are you thinking of Harris?
Yeah, I'm thinking of Harris, where they do the gin.
Yeah, Harris. I think you're either thinking of Harris or maybe Rassie. Avanjarek is 20,000 litres. I mean, even Strathearn and Dornoch are 30,000. Daftnell 65,000. Last question.
I thought you made that up, Roy. That's why I didn't choose that one. I've never heard of that.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's all right.
Avanjarek, Red River Distillery out in Lewis. Avanjarek is Gaelic for Red River. 7 out of 9. Graham Fraser is saying yes, he's celebrating. Does any of you guys want to? Karen, how's that score coming? Come on. Is it falling apart? 7 out of 10 with 1 to go. So you could still get an 8 out of 10, Karen. That would be an amazing score.
I've
got you out of 9. I got that one wrong.
You got that one wrong. Sevi, you've only had 1 wrong.
Yeah, just that. Yeah, just that.
That's amazing. Got a 1-year subscription to Whiskey Adv a couple of years ago. Just seemed like a big glossy advertising book. So you don't recommend it then, Tim? They shouldn't be. I don't know if they should be. If they're funded by people taking out a subscription, they really shouldn't be an advertising book. It's either one or the other, isn't it? Actually, is saying definitely not a back nine fella. Actually, is maybe slipping a wee bit. Rossford is saying, I think Jimmy Legg left the building. Yeah, maybe Jimmy isn't in here anymore. That would be strange. I put a capacity question just in for him. Excellent stuff. Last question is continuing the ass hat theme. If we include tonight and next week, how many vPubs will have been broadcast in 2020? It's not that I'm proud of this. I was surprised at this. A, 33 vPubs. B, 43 vPubs. C, 53 vPubs. I'm not talking about ad hoc lives. I'm not talking about patron-only lock-ins. I'm talking about actual scheduled Thursday night vPubs. And also back in lockdown earlier in the year, I was doing the extended opening on a Sunday night as well. So from that, Karen thinks B, 43. C, Neil thinks. Sevi thinks C. B for Dave and C. Oh, nobody thinks 33, interestingly, and it's pretty much the exact same as the lounge as well, somewhere between 43 and 53. Public vPubs in 2020 thus far, including this evening, have been 52. So if we manage next week's summary of 2020, it'll have been 53 vPubs. So that's hundreds potentially of hours of vPub. I'm grateful to everybody for tuning in and listening to me. I know that it's so much about the community and the gathering and getting together. I know how much I would miss if it wasn't there, but I do feel super, super privileged that it's me that's able to guide where it's going in the topics. What was that, Sevi? You're sharing your score. A 9 out of 10 superb score, 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10 for Karen and Alan, 5 on last. Okay, so that looks like Michael's saying what? 5 on last what? He's muted.
Got the last question right, or would have been on 4.
For a piss mark. You pulled out the fire, superb. Neil Cochrane's on 8. It's another superb score. Neil, you pulled a couple of 10 out of 10s, have you not this year? Yeah. And Dave, how did you get on?
Roy, don't remind him.
Have you managed a 10 out of 10 yet, Dave? Is that what the problem is?
I've never had a 10. I got 4 tonight. I think I've had a 9 once. Mostly 5s.
See, that's because you still haven't caught up in the vPub back catalogue yet. That's why.
Yeah, I'm quite bitter. I'm not bitter at all.
Yes. Listen, very close to a pass mark. Still very close to a pass mark tonight. I'm looking to see if anybody is using the 10 out of 10 emoji tonight. 7 out of 10 for Richard Hall. Dogs Have No Uncles, 7. Kripolak on 7. Bruno Martin's is saying no bad. James McGoran, 7. Johan Lundberg is saying strong. Orange Rule, 7. Hoyt on 7. Sid Martin, 7. Any. Lots of people celebrating the 7s, and Ian Bowes, that looks like no, it isn't. Ian, I've seen you before. Welcome back in. 8 out of 10, amazingly, he's saying. Somebody's saying, Lynn Duff, thank you for the 53 vPubs. Is Lynn in? Is my wife in tonight? Daniel Williams is 7 out of 10. Ben Demon Hunter 7. Lindsay Homan 7. I'm looking, there doesn't seem to be a 10 out of 10 unless I'm missing it. Mods, help me. I thought that there was going to be a 10 out of 10 night, but maybe not. Maybe the ass hats ripped it away from people at the end. Listen, I want to say thank you to everybody that's joined tonight. I'll wind up and say cheerio to the barflies. Stay till the end if you like, and we can use a wee glass after the stream has been killed just to say thank you one-on-one. But thank you all for stepping and helping me out with making a blind challenge actually mean something. Enough people to participate is nice to see that there's a kind of pattern building up, and I am very, very grateful for you participating tonight. It'll be interesting to see how Blade Dolier get on. If there's an update, I'll drop it in the comments below. If anybody wants to leave a like or a comment, I'm very, very grateful. And of course, you can see me. Well, I'll share what I'm going to cover in the last vPub of the year after I've said goodbye to my guests. But Neil Cochrane, you're a star. I'm very glad to know you, my friend. Thanks for participating tonight. Sevi, I can always rely on you, buddy. You're just there, and I'm very, very grateful for it. Alan, I know you've only been hanging around for a year, but it feels like a lot longer, my friend. It feels like you're one of the barflies, absolutely, and it's wonderful to know you. I'm looking forward to another day that we can bump into each other in the vaults again, like we did earlier this year. Karen, I can't wait to get the club nights back together. I'm sure you must be feeling the same, as are you, Dave Crichton. I know that we're all missing it. And Michael, it's very, very brave of you, because it ended up one of 3 whisky industry participants tonight. You were the only left remaining after the packages didn't arrive, and I'm very grateful that you stuck it out and kept it forward. Thank you very, very much, all of you. I'll raise 3 glasses and say thank you. Slanchiva.
I'd like to say, on behalf of obviously all the kind of competitors here tonight, and thanks so much for the drams as well, as always, Roy. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great fun. Well, I'm sure I speak for everyone in saying it's been an amazing year for what you've done to keep the whisky community entertained, just with loads of different streams. It's been a great thing, and thank you so much for all the work that you do, getting people like Michael to come on. Like, there's so many, I can't even list them all, and also the fact that you can get it on the catch up, but it's very much appreciated by everyone. So thank you so much.
I just opened the doors. Thank you so much. I just opened the doors. You guys are the lifeblood. I'm very, very appreciative of it always. Thank you so much. Stay till the end, won't you, please? Cheers, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Absolutely tremendous to have all of that support and folk that are willing to come in and give up their time to hang out with us and do silly little things like blind challenges, play quizzes and shoot for sniper coins and all of that stuff, which is very much what all of you do. There's Bud Jenkins bought me a dram. I don't want to miss that. Johan Lundberg has bought me a dram as well. Happy holidays to everyone. Drink quality, not quantity. Lindsay Holman is saying 10 for the Kilkerran 8 during the quiz. Enjoyed during the quiz. I see. Good use of the icon there, Lindsay. Thank you so much. Multi-Agus Buncher Matthew saying, and all the rest of the barflies wishing you a very happy Christmas. Hope you all have a good one. Take care all. Stevie is saying, Lynn is indeed in the vPub. MVP for the year. Fantastic. Orange Will is saying, round of applause for Roy and his efforts. Been a rough old year, and the vPubs have been a highlight for me and for many. Thank you so much, Rule. Thank you, Orange Will. Donner Pass Whiskey. Tim is saying, missed out most of this until the last few minutes. Thanks to all who participated. We'll watch when I get off work. I know that you're always working. You manage to tune in from time to time as well, Tim. I hope the weather is treating you okay out there and work isn't too tough for you. Bud Jenkins is saying, Merry Christmas, Roy. Thanks for a great year of content and community. Bud, thank you for being very much a part of that content and community, my friend, and thank you for your dram. Thank you so much to Bud and also to Odd Johan Lundberg. Cheers. Helen is saying, thanks again, Roy, for a super year of content. Merry Christmas. And to let, she's speaking to my wife. I haven't seen my wife comment yet. Graham Fraser saying, in case you missed my earlier super chat, best wishes to you. Oh, Graham, I hope I didn't miss that. I'll raise a glass now and say, Graham, thank you very, very much. He's saying, cheers to you and yours, Roy, and all the barflies. Been a heck of a year saved by the vPubs. Thank you so, so much. Jimmy Legg is saying, here's my comment. Love you, man. Jimmy, I love you too. I love you too, Jimmy Legg. I really do. Desi is saying, these vPubs are always a highlight of my week. Thank you for all the enlightenment and entertainment. Wish you all a Merry Christmas. Aquavita and the Barflies. Thank you, Desi. It's so wonderful to see you in. Lindsay Owen is saying, have a great Christmas. Aquavita and the Barflies. Tim is saying, Merry Christmas, Roy. Richie Z, my friend Richie, good to see you, is saying, Merry Christmas, Roy, as well. So many nice, warm sentiments coming in. I'll be back a week from tonight. It's going to be a Tuesday night again, and it's going to be a much more laid-back thing. It'll just be me flying solo. For the most part, I think there might be somebody coming in to play a game as at Speyside or something, but it's to kind of summarise the year. I want to summarise the whiskies that have marked points in the year for me that I think I've really connected with, things that are encouraging for the future, things that show that there are whiskies out there. Every single month, it seems that there are whiskies out there that are released that make you sit up and pay attention. I want to celebrate that despite all the crap that we've gone through this year. It would be wonderful to welcome you in a vPub, the last vPub of the year, to talk about the producers that have brought it and the whiskies that have brought it for 2020, which has been otherwise a horrible year. But I have to say, for whiskey, it's been another very good year. In the meantime, I'm going to say thank you to my moderators. Thank you to everybody that supported tonight. Thank you to all my guests for participating again. And thank you all for being there for me week after week after week and being so positive and so supportive and making this such a fantastic privilege. I'll raise this glass of amazing, as it turns out, teapot dram. And I'll wish you all a very happy Christmas. You are very dearly loved, and I'll see you all a week from tonight. Slant your barflies. Cheers. One day soon we all will be together, if our fates allow. Until then we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now.